from Demon Stadium in Franklinton. It is the LHSAA Game of the Week through CrescentCitySports.com as the Franklinton Demons play host to the St. Charles Catholic Comets. And a pleasant good evening to you. Ken Trahan, joined by Eric Held, and Kate Adams will be along in just a bit. Todd and Chip and Matt taking care of business here this evening on a bit of a brisk night in Franklinton. I don't want to say fall has arrived, but close to it. And the other thing that we'll talk about tonight will be the field condition. It's a natural grass surface, and there was quite a bit of rain here on Monday and Tuesday, so this field is wet and soggy in some parts and probably gets a bit torn up during the game. We'll see what factor that plays in a contest between two good football teams. The Comets of St. Charles Catholic coming in with a record of 5-1 overall, and the Comets have beaten South Lafourche, Lutcher, De La Salle, E.D. White Catholic, and Port Gibson, Mississippi. Lost a close competitive game to 5A East Ascension. Franklinton coming in at 4-2, but it's a hot football team. Lost to a good Covington team week 1, beat Fontainebleau, a 5A team, then lost to their rival Bogalusa, but they've won 3 straight after defeating Tylertown, Mississippi, Jewel Sumner, and Belle Chase, previously unbeaten Belle Chase, a week ago. Eric, this sets up as an intriguing matchup and a difference in styles.
No question, Ken. It's a contrast of styles where you have Franklinton, a downhill, multiple formation offense, like to run power, like to run counter, and as well as their defense, a 3-man front over there on the defense for Franklinton. Remnants of what you saw almost a decade ago under those good Franklinton teams during the Shane Smith era. And then St. Charles Catholic, of course, coached by legend Frank Monica in his 20th year, led by their defense and special teams as well.
Lights are on here, of course. Usually a big crowd here in Franklinton. They'll have a good enough crowd tonight, but not as big as normal because there's something else happening in town, which is an annual tradition, which attracts thousands upon thousands of people, and I'm patently familiar with it because my sister's been involved in it for many years, and that's the Franklinton Parish Fair, the Franklin Fair in Washington Parish.
Huge event here, off during the week. The entire school system's out for the week due to the Washington Parish Fair. And talking to Coach Barber of Franklinton High School earlier in the week, told his players, we asked him about the distractions involved there, and he said, guys, you have the rest of your life to go to the Washington Parish Fair. So you want to definitely play well and, of course, win on Thursday so you can go there and kind of walk around with a little chip on your shoulder, so to speak, on Friday.
Well, the Comets are coached by Frank Monica, 20th year on the job, his 50th year in coaching. 50, folks. 271 wins, 88 defeats overall, and he's tied for 10th all-time in wins in Louisiana prep football history. Truly a legend, former head coach at Lutcher, Riverside Academy, and at Jesuit. 1 state titles at Lutcher, Riverside, and of course at St. Charles Catholic when they won the 3A state championship in 2011, beating a meet 9-8 in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. State runner-up in 2005, 2006, and 2016. They don't come any better than Frank Monica.
He's a legend, a recent inductee into the LHSAA Hall of Fame back in April of this year. Frank Monica, like you said, been around for 5 decades. He was the head coach at Jesuit when I was a junior and senior in high school, and just remember how disciplined those players were for the Blue Jays. And then, of course, he's carried it on as an assistant coach at Tulane, where he was the offensive coordinator under Buddy Tevens. And then, of course, the last 20 years at St. Charles Catholic. Truly a legend in the coaching ranks in Louisiana.
Jonathan Barber in his 2nd year at Franklinton, a Franklinton graduate, played defensive back here for Shane Smith. He was the defensive backs coach for 9 years, the defensive coordinator for 2 years, and got the head coaching job a year ago, and then was named permanent head coach a year later. He's also the athletic director here, and he succeeded Stephen Burris, after Shane Smith was here for 17 years, won 142 games, and won a state championship.
Yeah, Shane Smith, a legend here, the all-time winningest coach here at Franklinton High School. Jonathan Barber's head coach back in the day. Jonathan Barber was a freshman during Shane Smith's first season in 1999, wrapped up his career in 2002, and a playoff victory against St. Charles Catholic, the only meeting in the regular season between those two teams, a 6-0 win for the Demons.
Demons won the 4A state championship in 2010, beating Carr 34-28 in a memorable overtime game that I covered. State runner-up in 2009 in 4A, also in 1A back in 1969. As mentioned, it's a hot team. They've won 3 consecutive games, and obviously it's a football team with a good coaching staff as well.
Without a doubt, John Lambert, co-offensive coordinator with Matt Hughes. Kevin Maddox is the first-year defensive coordinator. And then a former player of mine. One way you know that you're old is when one of your former players is in the coaching ranks. Brad Ostricker is the special teams coordinator for the Franklinton Demons and was a kicking great for the Rummel Raiders, and, of course, moved on to Louisiana Tech.
Indeed. So 2 very good staffs here. Of course, Wayne Stein has done a marvelous job for many years as the defensive coordinator at St. Charles Catholic as well. And now we pause to hear the alma mater, and then we expect to have the national anthem forthcoming as that takes place. We'll tell you before the anthem starts that Franklinton will be the home team, of course, dressed in purple tonight. The purple jerseys, purple pants, white headgear with the Franklinton logo on the helmet. Of course, St. Charles Catholic, the road team in its whites, white jerseys, white pants, and the Comets will have the blue helmets and the blue sleeves with yellow gold trim as well. We told you about the natural turf surface and the fact that it did rain here Monday and Tuesday, and it's soggy and will be muddy in some places as well. St. Charles Catholic averaging 25 points a game. The Comets allow 12.2 points per game, and they've hosted 2 shutouts this season. Franklinton averaging 32.8 points a game, and they allow 28.7 points per game on the year. So they've basically outscored people during the course of the year and given up a few points too, but they have won 3 consecutive games, playing very good football and looking the part as we speak right now with this ball club. Colors will be presented at the center of the field, and then we'll have the national anthem forthcoming here. Well, it doesn't get much better than the St. Charles Catholic program. As mentioned, state champs in 2011, state runner-up in 2005, 2006, and 2016, and they've lost in the semifinals in 2009, 2010, 2014, 2015, and 2017. You can virtually pencil them in to the semifinals every year.
Every year they're a semifinal good ball club. They make serious runs. You mentioned they're only allowing 12.2 points a game. I think if you go back, whether it was 2012, 11, 09, 2005, you go back and every year about this time, the Comet defense is giving up 10 or less points a game. This year, just 12.
Now the Franklinton High School band with our national anthem. Ken Trahan along with Eric Elgate will be alone shortly as well. Looking at some key players. First of all, for St. Charles Catholic, they've had to use 3 quarterbacks this year because Justin Dumas, the senior, has been out with an ankle. He has practiced this week and probably will see some action tonight. They've used Reed Landash as well, the junior, but we'll probably see the sophomore, Zach Vicknair, get the start here tonight.
What's amazing about the St. Charles Catholic team, year in and year out, it doesn't matter who is the quarterback. It's amazing how much production that young man gets, how many wins they get, no matter who goes down. Someone's always there to step up, next man up. And in this case, they've had to alternate their second and third quarterbacks, and they're 5-1.
Just shows you about the job they've done and the way they've stuck together. They always do. Kenan Goff, the junior, leading rusher, but Philip Tron, the most experienced player, the senior, back as well this year. And up front, good offensive line play. Evan Roussel would be the best offensive lineman. Defensively, really good at the linebacker position. Of course, Mandel Eugene, special talent. And Eli Orey's been very good as well at defensive end. Moses Clark trying to come back from an ankle injury. Same thing with Mason Narcisse, the big defensive lineman, the Tulane commit, also nursing an ankle injury, but good to say the least. And, of course, on the Franklinton side, it starts at quarterback, where Jasper LaSalle, the senior at 6'3", 197, is thrown for 1,056 yards already. Can extend plays and run it a bit, too.
When a play breaks down for the Demons on offense, he can definitely make plays with his feet. A zone read, power read, counter read threat from the quarterback position. Possesses a big arm as well.
Well, he does. And then, of course, when you look at their weapons, they've got Caleb Brown, who's been good at wide receiver for them, 24 catches. Kadarius Mark has 18 catches as well. And then, of course, in the backfield, Warren Warren has been good, but Mike Martin is special. The senior missed the first 3 games of the year, and he still rushed for 538 yards and 14 touchdowns.
When you miss the first 3 games of the season and then you come out and you get 107 carries in 3 games, definitely the workhorse for the Demon offense, averaging over 160 yards a game rushing for Franklinton.
St. Charles Catholic has won the toss. They've deferred, so they'll kick off, and Franklinton will get the ball first, and St. Charles Catholic will defend the north goal here at Demon Stadium. The defense for Franklinton, well, they've got a package of good players over there. Malachi Martin, the senior, at 6'2", 220, 2 sacks, 19 tackles, an interception. On the year, he's been good. Chase Sheridan, the senior linebacker, also good. 19 tackles, including 6 for loss on the year, and a fumble recovery. So St. Charles Catholic will kick off. Franklinton will get the ball first. Kate Adams is the third member of our broadcast team, and she's standing by on the Franklinton sideline. Kate, good evening to you.
Good evening, Kim. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. Finally getting some cool weather down here in Louisiana, so that is great. Want to give you a little history on Demons head coach Jonathan Barber. Well, he is a former alumnus of Franklinton High School, as well as a former Demon corner and punt returner. Actually, the last time these two teams met, he was a key player in that game, came up with a huge punt return for the Demons, actually helping to set up the only touchdown in that game, which gave the Demons a 6-0 win over St. Charles Catholic. Well, that was back in 2002, so you could probably say that he has now come full circle as an alumnus of Franklinton High School, a former player, and now in his second year as head coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kate. We're ready to roll, and here is Carter Chauvin to kick it off. For the Comets, his kick is going to come down short, and it's going to bounce, and it gets by, having to go retrieve it inside the 10. Finally does, and St. Charles Catholic is going to pin the Demons way back near the 5-yard line, as that was botched by Franklinton to get things started, not the way they wanted to start. And as a result, the Demons will have to start from deep in their own territory. They're going to mark the football at the 6-yard line. And so that's where Franklinton will scrimmage to start the game. Not ideal, but St. Charles Catholic special teams, always special.
Always special. They're known for their defense, but their special teams definitely complements their defense, as well as setting things up for their offense with great field position.
Tight formation. Warren is the running back. Now they split 3 to the right and 1 to the left side on first down. And pump fakes, gives to Warren, running left. Warren's got room. He's at the 10. Warren is up near the 15. A good gain of 9 yards. A little draw play of sorts. They gave him a look to pass and ran the ball well.
Nice draw play. You mentioned Ken. Coach Weinstein, the defensive coordinator for the Comets, said coming into this, the Demons are the best offense that his defense have seen thus far this season.
Motion to the short side of the field. 2nd and 1 of the 15, and wants to throw. Now steps up. He's going to throw it deep down the side and incomplete. It's a little wet on this side of the field. The pass was intended for Cornelius Laurent. The coverage was good on the play for St. Charles Catholic in the person of number 13, Cameron Campbell. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Took a shot there on 2nd and 1.
On 2nd and 1, you can take a shot. That's why winning first down is so important. You give yourself some breathing room. You can take a shot for a big play and move the chains and extend your offense there when it's 2nd and 1. Take a shot.
Warren is the running back on 3rd and 1. Snap it. He's going to get the football running left, and he's hit for a big loss. Not going to get there. The Comet defense strong. That is Mandel Eugene, the special junior that we spoke of earlier. His 44th tackle of the year. He's their best defensive player.
No question about that, Ken. Eugene has been offered by Tulane. Many other offers are going to come. 6'1", 190, a special player for the Comets.
Loss of 2. It's 4th and 3. And a punting situation for Franklinton. Single receiver is deep, standing around the Franklinton 45. And the punt is straight up. It's not going anywhere. This ball's going backwards. It's going to be down at the 15-yard line. That's a 2-yard punt. And just like that, the St. Charles Catholic Comets on the punt by LaSalle will get it at the Franklinton 15-yard line.
Coming into this game, Ken, the Comets' average starting field position was at the minus 41-yard line. Flip it around, now you start at the plus 14. Certainly points are going to come from this when you start inside the opponent's red zone.
Starting after the 1-yard punt at the 14-yard line. And the Comets with Vic Nair at quarterback. Single back next to him, straight run on the quarterback keep, got a block. And he goes to about the 10 and fights his way forward inside the 10. Still pushing hard and got himself to about the 8. Good push by the offensive line. Good job by Vic Nair to keep his legs moving. He gets 6 or 7 on the play.
See 12 personnel there, 1 back, 2 tight ends there. 2 tight formation. Nice quarterback run design play there for 6 yards. And that's something that the Comets need to do on offense. Move the chains, keep the clock moving, set things up for your defense and special teams.
2nd and goal from the 8, or 2nd down and 4 from the 8. Forsythe, the running back, quarterback keeper, Vic Nair. Vic Nair is going to get hit once, and he's going to be down for no gain. Good job by the Franklinton defense to shut that down at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It's going to be 3rd and 4.
Franklinton comes in, 3-man front base defense. You'll see a lot of 3-4. You'll see some 3-3 stack from first-year defensive coordinator Mike Maddox in his 4th year of coaching on the Demon staff.
So it's 3rd down and 4 at the 8-yard line. 9:18 and counting first quarter. No score. St. Charles Catholic threatens with twin receivers to the left side. Split the backs now. Tron is in the backfield. And option play pitch to Tron. Got a block to the corner. He'll score. Touchdown Comets. 8 yards on the beautifully run option play. No question that was going to work. And Philip Tron is into the end zone for the 2nd time this year. The Comets have a 6-0 lead.
Come out, pre-snap shift, get in the formation you want, kind of out-formation the defense there, and a great lead option call, the pitch to Tran, touchdown. When you start at the plus 14-yard line, you should come away with points, and the Comets come away with a touchdown.
Connor Chauvin to try the extra point. Does so out of the hold of Dumas. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good. So, with 8:59 to play in the first quarter, St. Charles Catholic has taken the early 7-0 lead, capitalizing on the good field position.
Mentioned before, average starting field position coming in minus 41, a big reason why they're 5-1. The average starting field position for the opponent is somewhere inside of the 30-yard line. Coach Wayne Stein was telling me coming in earlier this week. I believe it might have been the minus 24. That's a 1st down and a half difference. Big time when you have to drive the length of the field against the Comet defense. Historically, they give up 10 to 12 points a game defensively every year. It's like Ben Franklin said about death and taxes.
I hear you. Kickoff. Jovan, similar, high and short. This time will be handled, though. 20, 25, big hole. 30, 35, big return gives Franklinton a good opportunity here. So much better result this time around for the Demons, as Darius McGee did a good job.
Come up and field the kickoff. The previous kickoff, let it bounce, mishandled it. Start inside your own 10. You have to punt. Your punter punts it for 1 yard. Bad things happen. Come field it. Get a good return right here. Set yourself up at the minus 38.
38-yard line. Line of scrimmage on first down. Run inside and fighting forward to the 40. Had to fight for a couple of yards there as the traffic was thick on the inside. And a couple of yards on the run that looked like Warren for the first time. Was not in there on the first series, but in there now. And is able to get a couple on the play. Mike Martin, I should say. And so Martin gets his first carry, and it's 2nd down and 8. At the 40-yard line. Twin receivers to either side. LaSalle the snap, wants to throw a quickie and does. Caught, got a block. 45 and gets up to about the 47, about a yard short of the first down, but a good throw and catch there. It's Kadarius Mark on the reception.
Nice now screen there by Franklinton. Something you work on all week is your perimeter drill, where you work your screen game, you work your perimeter drill with your receivers, blocking against your secondary guys, throwing your different types of screens. Catch it, get downhill, find the crease, get downhill, don't dance. Put yourself in a great situation here. 3rd and 2, manageable down and distance.
From the 46 near the left hash mark. Tight formation, single receiver. Now they shift, overload the left side, power I. Going with strength here, go left, and he is hit and stopped. What a great job by the Comet defense. Again, that's Josh Toplane along with Mandel Eugene. Toplane and Eugene said, no way. It's a gain of 1, and it's 4th down and 1. Great job there by the Comet defense.
Great job there by the Comet defense, even after the pre-snap shift. Everybody blocking down, backs kick out. Comets fill the gaps, make the plays. Great job of film study all week by the Comet defense.
So it's going to be another punt. Last one didn't go very well. This one is away. It's very high, not very deep. Bounces inside the 30 and will be killed at about the 28. So the Comets get it back with 6:45 to play in the first quarter with a 7-0 lead. 2 3-and-outs forced by the St. Charles Catholic defense.
Some things just sound so familiar. 3-and-out forced by the Comet defense.
Comets start from the 29. Vic Nair is still the quarterback. Tron is in the backfield with him. And just a straight pitch to Tron, trying to get the corner. Flag down, that'll be a hold. He crosses the 30, got 3, but this is coming back. Trying to get the edge, a little bit of a reach block, and wasn't able to make the block properly. Flag came out. When it's in space like that, they don't miss many of those. It's going to go against the Comets.
Something that the Comets have had their most success with on offense is running the football downhill and between the tackles. Tried to get the back out there, stretch him on the perimeter, and the speed of the Demon defense definitely rung true there.
13-yard infraction back to the 16, spot foul. Don't get me started. 1st and 23 at the 16-yard line. It's such a harsh penalty at this level.
You really penalize high school kids when you make it 2nd and 23 instead of 2nd and 20.
Yeah, 1st and 23 here, but same premise. Split backs, and now whistle sounds and a timeout is going to be called with 6:21 to play in the first quarter. Timeout taken. And it's 7-0 Comets on top. Well, we mentioned that the Demons last week defeated Belchase 23-17. And St. Charles Catholic beat Port Gibson, Mississippi 28-0 a week ago. So both teams coming off of victories. And the St. Charles Catholic team right now, 4th in power points unofficially in Division III. The 3 teams ahead of them would be Newman, and they face them next week, along with Notre Dame and Lafayette Christian, who are playing tonight as we speak.
Huge game over there in Lafayette between Notre Dame and Lafayette Christian, and of course the Newman Greenies at this point. Definitely you have these are the 4 best teams in Division III without a doubt. Notre Dame, Lafayette Christian, St. Charles Catholic, and Newman, somewhere in that order. And if the Comets get healthy, they're going to make life miserable for some teams in the Division III postseason.
Running play right, broke a tackle, And a good run here across the 20 to about the 23-yard line for the Comets. That is Keenan Goff with his first carry. So Keenan Goff able to get to the 22-yard line. So picks up 6. Got a few back there to make it second down from the 23 and 16 yards to go.
Mentioned before, their most successful run plays and gains are running inside the tackles in the box.
Fake it. Vickner rolls right, throws in a flat, juggled and caught. Broke one tackle and getting back near the original line of scrimmage with the receptionist Brock Clement. But there is a flag down on the far side of the field. And when you see that, you're thinking against the offense because it's right near the line of scrimmage. Vickner to Clement for about 7 yards, but the flag comes out. I think he said ineligible downfield. Looking at the Franklinton sideline, it is an ineligible downfield against St. Charles Catholic. Decline. It's going to be third down as a result of the play.
Smart call there by Coach Barber of Franklinton. Decline it, accept the yardage. It's 3rd and 10, and if you looked at St. Charles Catholic in their past games on third down from 3rd and long, their conversion rate is below 30%. So a smart call by Coach Barber on 2nd down, a signature Frank Monica called play, naked with the tight end of the flat, and a deep comeback by the receiver.
Play comes in from the sideline on 3rd down and 10 from the 29-yard line. They'll go with 3 receivers left and a single to the right. Dumas now at quarterback. Goff in the backfield with him. Dumas the snap, wants to throw it. Dumas against a blitz, throws incomplete. Short, and a good thing he got dumped as he was throwing the football. Took the hit, slow to rise. He's been bothered by an ankle injury, but he does rise here. The pressure applied by Darrell Kemp, the junior middle linebacker.
Nice curl flat concept by the Comets. Pass falls short, incomplete due to the pressure put on Dumas by the Franklinton High defensive front. If the Comets can get Dumas healthy, they're going to be much more explosive on offense and will be a headache for some teams in the D3 playoffs.
Punting situation, twin receivers are deep to receive the punt. Got it off. Bounces at midfield and stops there. So good field position here for the Demons, who will start right near midfield with 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Comets on top.
Big key for any opponent of St. Charles Catholic is to win the field position battle. Big key of that is win first down. And then for St. Charles Catholic, don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Don't get yourselves behind the chains, whether it's by penalty, whether it's by sack, whether it's by a missed block on the perimeter or inside.
Martin in the backfield with LaSalle, wants to throw it. Steps up, throws, and incomplete. Again, the footing to the Franklinton side of the field is much worse than it is to the St. Charles Catholic side of the field. We walked the field earlier, and it is slippery and choppy and a bit muddy on the Franklinton side, which is where they threw that pass.
Between the hash mark and the sideline on the Franklinton side of the field, kind of boggy, like you said. Very soft as we walked it. Middle of the field as well, but as you get closer to the St. Charles Catholic sideline, a little more firm.
2nd and 10, LaSalle will throw for Martin out of the backfield. Nice catch. Looks for the cut, shakes a tackle, and gets inside the 45 to about the 43. Nice catch by Martin, and he picks up about 7.
Nice one-handed catch. As equally impressive was the open field tackle there.
Gain of 7. It will be 3rd down and 3 at the 43-yard line of St. Charles Catholic for the Demons. With twin receivers right, a single to the left. Ball on the left hash mark. LaSalle feeds Martin. Martin dives forward and is right near it, but he might be just a half a yard short, and they're going to go for it if that's the case.
I think going in on that call on third down, it was definitely 4-down territory. You want to take every chance you can against the Comets because of their stout defense. Take every opportunity you can. Come up with your best third and short call.
Fourth and less than a yard. The Demons will go for it. Martin, the running back. LaSalle, the quarterback. Tight end left side. Looks over to the sideline. Now barks instructions. Snap it. Give it to Martin. He's got the first down. Martin off the left side plunges to the 37-yard line. First down, Demons, a gain of 4.
One thing I think you'll see, Ken, coming up is they're going to build some plays off of their run game with their back and use their quarterback to carry the football with some zone reads and some power reads as well and quarterback counters.
Gain of 4, first down to the 37-yard line as we reach 3:50 to count in the first quarter. Motion to the wide side of the field. LaSalle wants to throw it. LaSalle's going to go deep down the middle. He had a receiver middle of the field, but the pass is well overthrown. As breaking free was Kadarius Mark. Safety was pursuing, but the pass was off the mark.
Looks like big defensive tackle Narcisse got a little pressure there on the Franklinton quarterback. Good to see him back in uniform.
No doubt.
When the Comets get Narcisse and Clark back 100%, tough to run the football against St. Charles Catholic.
2nd and 10. Martin gets the call. He's chopped down. Great penetration. Ball came out. St. Charles Catholic says they have it, and they do. St. Charles Catholic football coming up with it was Eli Ori. Made the hit, recovered the ball. Great play by Ori all around.
Eli Ori, you look at him in uniform, not the most overwhelming specimen in uniform, but a hard-nosed St. Charles Catholic type kid. Works hard. Older brother Justin was a starting shortstop for Delgado and now at Nicholls State.
With 3:30 to play in the first, St. Charles Catholic gets it back. And a short run here. Off the left side, Philip Tran gets the carry. Was able to fight ahead for 3, so he got 3 yards out of that. And it's 2nd and 7. First turnover of the game by Franklinton.
Tran averaging 3.8 yards a carry. Gain of 3 on power on 1st and 10.
2nd and 7 at the 41. Break that pistol formation. Strong right now. And a give to Goff running right. Goff is spilled. Nice job defensively. Really well played by Darrell Kemp. Second good play that he's made.
Nice play off the perimeter there on the speed sweep. Comets line up in the stack I. Pre-snap shift. Get into a formation that they feel they like. And the Demons did a great job there, adjusting to the shift, adjusting to the formation, and outflanking the Comets on the perimeter and make the play on the speed sweep.
Gain of 1 for Keenan Gallup. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 at the 42. Twin receivers left to single right. Slot man left, wide side of the field. Rolling that way is Dumas. Dumas looking. Now he's going to tuck it in. He's going to be hit and drop for a loss. Great pursuit defensively. Dumas is down at about the 40-yard line. And a great job defensively by 93 Jacob Turnage, along with 5 Chase Sheridan for the Demons.
Demons have had 2 consecutive nice series on the defensive side of the ball. The whole key is to back up St. Charles, make them drive the length of the field on you.
Punting situation here. Low pass from center, fielded it on a bounce, did a good job. Drives him back inside the 30, inside the 25. That's a really good job by the punter.
Really good job of the punter, handling it on kind of a slick field, soft field, getting it away. Again, we talked about this for weeks. If you're the punt returner and you have 2 punt returners back, there's a reason why you have 2 guys back. catch the football.
Somebody's got to come feel that ball.
Ball bounces at the 30. Talk about it all the time. You study for decades, and the average yardage you lose as a return team when you don't catch it is a first down, 10 yards.
Good job by Nick Lemoyne, the punter, there to get that punt off. And as a result, Franklinton starts from its 20. Slant pass caught. Broken tackle. And a nice gain on first down. Across the 25 to the 27-yard line. As LaSalle got that one to 32, Caleb Brown.
Winning first down is key, and when you get 7, that's a win on first down. Makes the play calls for your offensive coordinator much easier, and John Lambert is the offensive coordinator for the Demons, a familiar name from the New Orleans area at De La Salle, and was the offensive coordinator for Hahnville when they won state in 2003.
Sure was. Good coach. Second down and 3, short gain here, maybe a yard. Stout defense inside for the Comets. Eli Ori was there again. And the carry by Warren nets him a yard to make it 3rd and 2. We've had a few of these 3rd and 2s.
We have, Ken mentioned John Lambert before. Matt Hughes is the co-offensive coordinator for Franklinton. He's the pass game coordinator. Interesting note for you, when John Lambert was the head coach at East Ascension, his defensive coordinator was Jason Brown, who coaches linebackers for St. Charles Catholic.
First quarter comes to a close with our score, St. Charles Catholic 7, Franklinton nothing. Back with our second quarter. We'll check in with Kate as well when we continue here on the LHSAA Game of the Week. This is the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday Night Football Game of the Week, a presentation of Crescent City Sports. Second quarter set to begin. It is 7-0 St. Charles Catholic over Franklinton. Ken Trahan, Eric Held. Let's check in with Kate Adams on the sideline. Kate?
Well, Diebman, offensive coordinator, basically telling his players, look, you've got to make plays and you've got to perform on the field what we practiced this week, because if you don't, you're going to struggle all game, and this is going to be a very long game. Then senior Alex Kennedy telling the rest of the guys on the offense, look, get out here and play your hearts out. This is our time. Back to you.
Thank you, Kate. Well stated. Indeed, they have to. 3rd and 2 forthcoming. They've had a few of these 3rd and shorts. They have not been able to convert. Eric, just 1 first down thus far for the Demons, so this becomes a big play.
Huge play. You come up here, you've got the break in between the first and second quarter, and you come up with your best 3rd and short play that you've got on your sheet, something you've repped all practice that your guys up front feel comfortable about.
3rd down and 2 from the 28-yard line. Snap it, and the quarterback is going to be hit for a big loss. The penetration was severe, and finishing it up was Josh Tompland. He made the stop, but great penetration initially by Roussel. Going both ways, made a really good play to get in there, and now LaSalle slow to rise as he took the hit.
Something the Demons do not need is for quarterback Jasper LaSalle, the 6'3 senior. LaSalle comes up, walking gingerly back to the sideline. Hopefully he's okay and can return for the Demons. But the Comets, always great on 3rd and short.
Yeah, lost 2 yards, and that's going to result in a punt. And this has been a bit of a struggle. They've tried a different punter. Caleb Brown will punt it now. And Philip Tran deep to receive for the Comets. Plenty of time to get this away. Hits it toward Tran. Fair catch. Fumble! And Franklinton should have it. Tran did not handle it. And the Demons have come up with a football. Big play. And coming out of there with it is 22, Spencer Lambert. Big turn of events here.
Switching punter, as you mentioned, can get off a much better punt. Punt tough to handle there for Tran. Great coverage there, hustling downfield, or the Demons be in the right place at the right time.
Well, it changes field position, changes the perspective. Franklinton gets it on the St. Charles Catholic side of the field. Early second quarter at the St. Charles Catholic 44-yard line. Big turn of events here. Can Franklinton take advantage? Pump fakes, wants to go deep. Man down the sideline and incomplete and a flag. Contact made, flag comes in, and that'll be 15 yards on the high school level against St. Charles Catholic. Intended for Kadarius Mark, and the coverage by Caden Foster. Got isolation and got pass interference. The right call and a first down.
If LaSalle puts a little more air under that ball, receiver runs up under it, it's a touchdown. If it's underthrown like it was, one of the toughest plays to defend for a corner is the underthrown ball. It either leads many times into a catch for the receiver or a pass interference call against your corner on defense.
First and 10 at the 29-yard line as a result. High formation here. Deep back gets it, running left. He runs into a brick wall. I mean a brick wall. Eugene was there first to stop Martin, and he had help there from number 30, Samuel Joyce. No gain. It's second and 10.
If I'm a defensive coordinator and I have a really solid front like the Comets do, I want to see any opponent line up in an I formation with the quarterback under center. You know what's coming. 3 basic plays coming your way, and you've got a stack box.
St. Charles Catholic in the neutral zone. That's going to cost them 5. They were blitzing, and they were premature, jumping the gap. Once they jump in the neutral zone, that's it.
It's penalty right away. Great job by Franklinton being disciplined, holding on the count, getting the Comets to jump in a 3-4 alignment there on defense.
3 penalties, 33 yards now on the Comets. Second and 5, quick snap. And now a whistle sounds before the snap can take place. Timeout St. Charles Catholic is the call.
Comets trying to change personnel there, going from 2nd and 9 to 2nd and 4. Got caught with 12 men. They had to hit the timeout button there so they didn't get penalized. You give up a timeout, but it's the best move so you don't give up the yardage, of course.
So second down and 5 from the 24 with 10:40 to play in the first half. And a 7-0 lead for St. Charles Catholic. Both defenses have been good in this one thus far. Comets got the timeout, now come back on the field. They've got 3 penalties, 33 yards, and they're known for being disciplined and not used to seeing penalties. They've had 2 against them on this possession already after a fumbled punt.
Something that's definitely killing Coach Stein right now, their defensive coordinator. Coach Monica, too.
Second and 5 of the 24. LaSalle with time. To the outside, man open. He's at the 15. First down, and a flag comes down. Could be an illegal block on the play down the field, which might hurt this gain. The pass was complete to Caleb Brown. Second reception he's made. Again, a flag down at about the 15-yard line. And it's going to be an illegal block against Franklinton.
I get it. Great hustle play there by your receiver, wanting to block the defender and wanting to spring your teammate. But, hey, be smart. Sometimes not coming down to be the hero and just run by, and sometimes just get in the way of the defender. Turn your hip to him, throw your hands up. You've got the first down already inside the 20.
Gain of 9 and a penalty of 10 yards, so it's 2nd and 6 after all that at the 25. Snap it. Wants to throw it, heavy pressure, steps up, he's sacked, got it off, intercepted, 35-40, 45-50, 45, cut back, and inside the 35 and down all the way to the 31-yard line. On the big play defensively is Samuel Joyce. While LaSalle, bless his heart, was trying to make a play, falling down, he would have been better served to take the sack. There is a flag down way back around the 40-yard line of Franklinton. My guess is the interception will stand, and there'll be a blocking foul against St. Charles Catholic. Now the bigger concern is the injury. Offensive lineman is up, and he'll trot off, which is good news. So trotting to the sideline, Joe McGee, 76. Yes, there is a McGee playing at Franklinton High School.
I think that goes back to the beginning of time in Franklinton. There's always been a McGee. You mentioned
or
before.
Several.
Or several. You mentioned you pull into town, and there's a sign for a business with McGee on it.
It will be a change of possession, but another penalty against St. Charles Catholic. It's going to be the fourth on them for 43 yards already. It'll give Frank Monica something to chew on at halftime.
No doubt about that. LaSalle forces the pass. You've got to eat it there and live to play your next two downs. Here's what you say if you're Coach Barber of Franklinton. Yeah, we turned it over. Hey, guys, we're okay. The ball's at the minus 25. They've got to go 75 yards. It's like we went for it on 3rd and 4th and gained a few yards.
High formation. Now they break that. Tran will be the running back. Vic Nair, the quarterback. Forsyth, the up back. Tran will get the call inside left. Tran is down at about the 28-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards.
The old F counter play there for St. Charles Catholic. They shift pre-snap, get the fullback there. He replaces the tackle on the counter tray.
At the 28, it's 2nd down and 7. 9:35 and counting first half, 7-0 Comets on top. High snap. Vic Nair keeps. Vic Nair across the 25 out to the 28. He has 5 yards. I said the 28, I meant the 33. Has a gain of 5. It's going to be 3rd and 2.
On the speed sweep action there, get the eyes of the defenders there, those linebackers and the safeties for Franklinton. Make your offense play tricks on their eyes, go with the fake. Great job by the quarterback running downhill inside.
3rd and 2 at the 33. Vic Nair. And they blew the whistle, and a flag comes down before the snap. Another pre-snap penalty. And again, this is going to hurt the Comets. Going to cost them 5 yards for a false start. So 3rd and 2 becomes 3rd and 7 from the 28. So that's now 5 penalties and 48 yards. And this portion of tonight's game is being presented by Rock and Bowl with locations in New Orleans and Lafayette. For the latest live music schedules, visit rockandbowl.com, the site of our New Orleans Quarterback Club luncheons each week on Tuesday at noon. Rock and Bowl. Thanks to the Blanchard family. 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Wants to throw it. Quick throw outside, caught. Tran will get the first down as he hustles across the 35 out near the 40-yard line. Did that with speed. Picks up 12 and a first down. Dumas got it to him.
Great job out formationing the defense there. It's amazing to see how well the Comets adapt week to week. Frank Monica in his 50th year, it's amazing to see what he does and how he gets teams out formation so that the Comets can move the football, move the chains.
12-yard gain, first down to the 40-yard line. Dumas with the completion, stays in the game. They're going to run Tran inside. Tran runs into a bunch of purple shirts, and he'll go down to the line of scrimmage in the arms of Jalen Simmons, the senior safety.
F counter play there with not much success. Going back to the 3rd down, 3rd and 7 that they converted the play before. Great job with the 2 receivers to the Comets sideline, running very shallow slants, opening up for the ball to be delivered to the back. Pick play, basically, is what they ran.
2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line. 2 receivers left, a single right. Dumas the snap. Fakes it, throws the slant, overthrown. Pass was intended for number 82, Forsyth. The pass was too tall, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
play action pass off the F counter action. Previous play F counter on 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 2nd and long, one of the most common play action pass down in distances for any offense.
3rd and 10 from the 40. Receivers split to either side. And now a whistle sounds yet again. And another timeout taken by St. Charles Catholic. So they've used theirs. And with 7:20 to play in the half, Comets will talk it over, up 7-0. Defensive struggle thus far, and of course it's been marked by 3 turnovers, 2 against Franklinton, 1 on the fumbled punt by St. Charles Catholic.
For both teams, special teams mistakes have set up their best field position opportunities in their drives, with St. Charles Catholic getting the ball at the +14 at the beginning of the game on their first drive. On the opening kickoff, the Demon kick returner let the ball bounce, muffed it a little bit, got tackled at the 5-yard line, and then the 1-yard punt sent him up at the +14. The fumbled return by Tran earlier set the Demons up with great field position, and of course they turned around and threw an interception.
3rd down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Comets break the huddle, wide side, right side of the field. They overload the left side here, and I do mean overloaded. Dumas retreats to throw. Pump fakes. He's going to gun it deep. Man coverage, sideline. Diving catch made. Great catch near the 25 of Franklinton. You can't make a better catch, and that is Keenan Goff on the reception. 1st down, Comets. What a throw and catch.
Tremendous throw by Dumas. Having him back in the game, being able to play adds a different dimension to your offense. But again, pre-snap shift, get you into formation, double post wheel concept for the Comets. Long gainer there.
35 yards to the 25 of Franklinton. 1st and 10 Comets. Split backs. Inside run Goff. Goff is going to fight down to about the 21. Has 4 yards. Keenan Goff coming up big.
Line up in the I formation to start. Shift your tailback offset. Through the 20 years at St. Charles Catholic for Frank Monica, out of that formation, the #1 play is the draw play that we just saw.
2nd and 6 at the 21. 6:20 to play in the half. Comets leading 7-0 with an opportunity to perhaps add to it. Off the deep back on 2nd and 6. Hard count by Dumas. Gives it to Goff. Broke a tackle. Goff dives near the 1st down. Right at the 15-yard line. That's where he needed to get. And we'll see if they decide to move the chains or not. He's right on the marker. I think he's signaling 3rd down. And if it is, it's no more than an inch. I'm surprised they're not measuring here. They do not move the chain, so it's 3rd down and probably about, I don't know, the tip of the football. I'm shocked there's no measurement here. Now they are moving the chains. Well, there you go. 1st down. Didn't see the signal.
Again, inside run game, the most successful for the Comets. Keep it in between the tackles, or when you go too tight end, keep it in between the tight ends. We had a sideline warning there on the Comets.
1st and 10 of the 15. Goff got the 1st down. Comets in the red zone. Split backs, counter play. Tran's hit and stopped. No gain. That time penetration good. And Tran knocked to the turf by number 34, Noah Breland, the senior. 2nd and 10.
Repeat of what we saw 2 plays prior to that, Ken. Except this time a gain of none. 2 plays back, a gain of 4 on 1st down.
Tran remains the deep back behind Forsyth. Strong right formation on 2nd and 10. Pitch play to the strong side. Tran looks for the corner, cuts back, and he'll get down to about the 12. So Tran picks up 3. He might have the 11, which will give him 4. Make it 3rd and 6. Definitely in field goal range now if you're thinking in those terms. 3rd and 6 from the 11-yard line. Under 5 minutes to play in the half. Big play here, right hash mark.
Power toss run play there on 2nd down. Stretch them, put your foot in the ground, get downhill.
Vicknair now at quarterback, and he bobbles the snap, has to run it himself. Vicknair will get the first down and more. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Comets. Didn't draw it up that way, but sure did like the result if you're the St. Charles Catholic Comets.
May say they were lucky there, but luck, a nice acronym, labor under correct knowledge.
Vicknair scores 11 yards, 13-0, extra point coming.
Muff the snap, but he's been coached over and over and has had the opportunity to get a number of reps. After your fake on the speed sweep, get downhill, make something happen.
Extra point coming here from Carter Chauvin. There's the shift. Dumas the holder. Good snap. Kick is up, and it is good. 4:28 to play in the half. St. Charles Catholic now up 14-0. That was an impressive drive, Eric.
Very much so, Ken. Something that they were able to put together. The key play of that was the long pass there. Dumas, one of the best throws we've seen tonight from quarterback on either side. And speaking of quarterbacks, the Demons, in order for them to get back into this game, LaSalle is going to have to make some plays either through the air or with his feet. One thing we haven't seen is for a designed quarterback run yet, something that we've seen in games leading up to this. And that's something that I think Coach Lambert, the run game coordinator and offensive play caller, is definitely thinking about as we move forward. Get a great drive here with 4 minutes and 28 seconds. You should have good field position with the Comets kicking the ball short on their 2 previous kickoffs.
Well, that was, as mentioned, an impressive drive for the Comets, and it covered 11 plays, 75 yards, 5:44 off the clock. Zach Vicknair, an 11-yard touchdown run to make it 14-0 St. Charles Catholic. This kick is a little bit deeper, and again, he let it bounce. You got to come catch that football. Turns into a touchback. So Franklinton just hasn't handled kickoffs very well.
Come catch it. I know Brad Ostricker, the special teams coordinator for the Demons, and I mentioned before a young man I had the pleasure of coaching at Rummel. I know he heard it from me 16 years ago in 2003, and then another year going backward in 2002 about how important it is to field kickoffs and catch punts.
Brad kicked the longest field goal in Rummel Raider history. I was there, saw that, and he was a terrific kicker, one of many that they've had in that program. 1st and 10 at the 20. LaSalle lines him up. He has Martin in the backfield with him. He'll keep it, and he's going to fall forward for about 3. Again, the sledding is tough inside. So 3 yards for LaSalle to make it 2nd and 7.
That was an impressive toss of the flag from the field judge.
Well, there was a little bit of pushing going on at the bottom of the pile. My guess is this is going to work against St. Charles Catholic, and it's going to be 15 yards. It's exactly what's going to happen. This will be the 6th penalty against St. Charles Catholic. And 58 yards. All the way out to the 38-yard line for the extracurricular. So out to the 38, another first down by penalty. Quick snap, wants to throw. Intercepted! Undercutting the route and sitting there waiting on it was Josh Tomplin. And that is turnover number 3 by Franklinton. And what a job by this Comet defense.
Tomplin with his 2nd interception on the season. On the speed sweep there, one of the Franklinton staples off of that is their play-action pass to their single receiver on the backside slant, and Tomplin, just like they've worked thousands of times in practice, get your drop to the flat.
37-yard line. Goff fights his way to about the 35, maybe the 34, give him 3. 2nd and 7. St. Charles Catholic up 14-0, and now with a chance here after the turnover to possibly add to this lead.
You want to get at least 3 here, Ken, to get up by 17, so you're 3 scores ahead of your opponent.
2nd and 7 of the 34 as we hit 3:30 to play in the half. Twin receivers right. Goff is the running back, Dumas the quarterback. Dumas play fakes. Dumas in trouble, a sack. Back at the 43-yard line. Great job defensively. 93, Jacob Turnage, the senior, with the sack, his 2nd of the season.
Something that Franklinton definitely needs to do, put pressure on the quarterback, keep the Comets behind the chains, especially in a situation here as the clock is ticking down at the end of the first half and you're getting close to field goal range. Now you want to make a 3rd down stop. If the Comets elect to run the football, call timeout so that you can get the ball back and move the football and answer with a score.
Loss of 8, it's 3rd down and about 16 yards to go. Dumas, screen pass coming, caught underneath, cut back, and not going to get there. To the 40, a gain of a couple of yards, but that's all on the reception as defense played it well as Kendall Harris made the catch. So a gain of 2, it's 4th down, and the Comets will likely punt the football.
Nice pursuit there by the Demon defenders to the alley to tackle the Comet receiver there on the tunnel screen.
Clock stopped with 2:26 to play on a timeout. That was a big stop for Franklinton. The Demons really needed that. 4th and 13, figure the Comets will try to punt them deep here.
Pin them deep, make them drive the football 80-plus yards.
So 4th down at the 40-yard line and 13 yards to go. Punting situation. Josh Lemoyne to handle that. Takes the snap. Gets it away. Line drive kick, but it's going to be effective inside the 10. It's going to be downed inside the 10. Beautiful kick. And the Comets will just let the clock run and touch it dead at about the 6 with 2:15 to play. And that's exactly what Frank Monica wanted. Pin Franklinton deep. Let his very good defense play.
Again, come up and catch the punt at the 11-yard line, 12-yard line. Give it an opportunity to roll. They're real lucky that this ground's soft, or it would have been downed at the 1 or possibly the 2-yard line.
Start of the 6 with 2:15 to play in the half, and Franklinton right now has to be in protect mode here. Remember, St. Charles Catholic has used timeouts. Demons would be fortunate to just get out of here without allowing anything else to happen bad. Short gain on 1st down. Maybe the 7-yard line. And a gain of 1. Martin on the carry. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Franklinton should be in no hurry here. Trying to let that clock run. They don't want to give the ball back to St. Charles Catholic with much time on the clock, if at all.
Want to snap this ball inside of 3 seconds on the shot clock, as I like to call it.
Play clock, which is right now at 10. They are waiting. Take the snap with 4 on the play clock. Run it left and short yardage again. This time another yard. So it's going to be 3rd down and 8 is Martin again. Just has no room to run, a little frustrated. He's used to running for big yardage, as we talked about earlier. Had a huge 3 games in a row. Now it's 3rd down A minute 8 and counting. St. Charles Catholic can't stop it, so Franklinton will try to run this thing down as far as possible and see if they can make this the last snap of the half. It's a possibility.
Stay in bounds, too.
Right, on 3rd and 8. Letting that game clock run, play clock run as well. LaSalle wisely waiting. They're going to take a timeout, I believe. So they ran it down to 1 second and took timeout. Smart move by Jonathan Barber there. Again, with this field position, this is not the time to try anything against a defense that's really control play.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they come out here with 39 seconds on the clock for them to come out in victory formation and take a knee on 3rd down.
If they have no timeouts, that's the thing to do.
And St. Charles doesn't have a timeout, then you go to the half and you're down 14-0 and rally the troops, get things going, come out for the second half.
So 39 seconds left. We do not believe that St. Charles Catholic has any timeouts left. Now teams back on the field and ready to go. On 3rd down. From the 9 officially. There's your knee. And that's going to end the half. So smart move to just run the clock out there and not allow anything else to take place bad. And halftime will arrive with St. Charles Catholic on top by the score of 14-0 over Franklinton. Demons already departing the field. St. Charles Catholic still out there, but they can't stop the clock, so the clock is going to run out. And therefore, that's why the Demons have already departed the field.
That's an example, Ken, right there with the 40-second play clock.
Mm-hmm.
How you coach it differently compared to years before at the end of the half or at the end of the game.
All right, Kate Adams getting position to talk to Coach Frank Monaco. The comments. Frank wants to have a word with the referee first. Gee, that's not unusual either. Seen that a few times. Frank never misses a beat. Wisely getting a word in, or 2 or 3, and pointing out what he wants them to know.
Or 12.
Yep, and there's Kate with Coach Frank Monaco. So, Kate, let's go to Kate Adams with Coach Monaco as she gets in a position. So, Kate, take it away with Coach Monaco.
Ken, thank you. I've got Coach Monaco here. One of the things you wanted for this game was to create turnovers. Your team is doing a good job at that so far.
We've been in position. That's the most important thing, and the defense is doing well. I still think we're a little sluggish. I think there's another level we need to play to, and right now I'm really not happy with the way that our offense is executing. We need to do a lot better. We left some points on the field where just before the halftime, and we need to play better. And I think that we're a little sluggish, and we're not getting the right personnel in the game at the right time. And we need to clean up some stuff for halftime for sure.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
All right, Kate, thank you very much. Ken Trahan, Eric Held, 14-0. St. Charles Catholic on top, and now it's time for Kate Adams' weekly feature on high school athletics in Louisiana.
Not satisfied. Why are we not surprised?
I have LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonine with me. Eddie, a lot of news been going around about the LHSAA, some of it true, a lot of it actually is not true. Basically, want to do this interview so we can clear up the air. The topic we're going to be talking about is the special interest group that was formed, known as the Louisiana Select Association. So I want to start kind of with a brief timeline. Let's talk about what was passed at the annual convention in January this past year, and kind of give me a timeline after that was passed up until today.
And at the January convention this past year in 2019, the select schools voted to split away from the LHSA sanctioned postseasons in football, boys and girls basketball, baseball, and softball. And by doing so and putting the language together, which was approved, it basically allowed for the schools of the home teams and or the highest seeds to host those events. For example, football outside the Mercedes and Superdome. And I truly believe that at that particular point, we kind of all walked out of there that day in January thinking, I'm not sure that they knew exactly what they passed, but at the end of the day, they passed it. We had conversations prior to the annual convention, which we always do around the state in our area meetings. We'd asked specifically to many people, and which I think the public schools principals listened to, because on that day on those particular issues, there was only less than 90 that voted on these issues that had to do with both the select and non-select. A year or 2 years ago, let's go back, that there was a proposal that passed that allowed select schools to vote on only select school stuff, and public schools wouldn't vote on it. If you didn't have a sport, i.e. wrestling, you couldn't vote on wrestling issues, which I thought was important. And when it came down to changing the Constitution, 2/3 vote on the Constitution was an important piece. That's the cornerstone of our association. So I fast forward to what happened. Well, in February, once that passed, I sent a communication to the non-public school liaison, 8-page document that identified what needed to be done, made sure that they understood that the requirements that we were responsible for, what was approved, basically laying it out. Have you thought about this? What are you going to do about that? Didn't hear really any response. We had an April executive committee meeting. That's April of this past year in 2019. Mr. LeBlanc, who's the liaison I mentioned earlier, he presented 3-minute presentation, really nothing to report. We, the executive committee, as I met with my vice president, expecting maybe more select schools present for this particular meeting. We had one individual other than Mr. LeBlanc present. We kick it forward to the June meeting, the same. All we got that they were organizing, and then now August, September, and here we are in October. It's a story. Well, it's not a story. We've been very clear from the get-go on what was approved and what was going to happen. I haven't changed my stance. I'm not going to play semantics. Highest seed, home team. At the end of the day, football was the only sport that left a may, not a shall, in the language, because some of the schools in the metropolitan areas don't have their own home field, and they play at different facilities for that. That was why that language, I believe, was left in it for that case. So that's kind of where we are at this particular juncture. We've attempted to, on more than one occasion, to meet and to actually survey, ask schools, and vote again to let's start with football, bring everybody back for that, or waiting for some proposal stating, hey, you know what, we didn't make the right decision, let's regroup and kick this to the January convention. We've received none of that until we saw this formation of the group convention, and then now that they're there, I honestly believe that we were getting close to being given the direction which we got to bring the association back together with some consolations, take care of some things in the bylaws, things that we're doing and working diligently to do now. I think that what has transpired in the last 60 to 90 days has driven a bigger wedge, and it's going to make it more difficult for staff and committee, meaning the executive committee, to get this to the annual convention and try to bring everybody back together. But we're going to continue to try to do that.
Well, recently in the last executive committee meeting back in September, actually, LHSAA executive committee members offered the chance for select schools to still have the option to play in the Superdome. Unfortunately, that did not go through. We here at the LHSAA always want to do what's best for our student athletes. So basically, moving forward, what is going to happen with the Prep Classic? Is it still going to be separate, and where will the select schools actually play? Because that seems to be the big question.
The Prep Classic this year will look like it did prior to the split in 2013, where we'll have the 5 classifications, 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, that we play in the Superdome. Those 5 games, 10 schools will be down there. It'll be a 3-day event, meaning we'll do any walkthroughs and stuff on that Thursday. There'll be a couple of games played on Friday, and then 3 games played on Saturday. That's the plan. Now, in regards to what classification plays where, we get closer to the pairing show, which comes up in about a month. In November, we'll know closer what we're going to do and what it's going to look like, so we compare those. What I want to keep the option open is if by chance we have a parish that has a larger classification, a smaller classification, a combination therein, it would behoove us to make sure that those schools in that respective parish are playing on the same day, or try to get as many people there as we can for that. But right now, what has happened, it just cuts out days at the Superdome. In fact, I spoke to them today. They're ready to roll. Nothing's changed because we did nothing at the Superdome to cancel any of the days or dates, anticipating hopefully that when we sent the survey out and asked if they still wanted to participate, honestly, I expected that they would, and was kind of surprised when they did not. And we had, I think, Division II, Division IV, they had people that wanted to, but they didn't have the unanimous vote that they needed. But at this particular point, we're going to go with what it looked like in 2012 with the 5 classifications.
So with those 5 classifications, they will play on the weekend of December 13th and 14th, but for select schools, what's the date they're looking at playing?
The last I knew, they were going to play the weekend before, which would be the weekend of whatever those dates are, the weekend before, which is back in the day when we had the split football championships and played at the Superdome on 2 consecutive weekends, would be the same date that they would be playing their championship. Sites to be determined.
While we're talking about select schools, I do want to talk about the special interest group known as the Louisiana Select Association. What really is the quote-unquote LSA? I mean, isn't it just really an organizing committee for the championships that the select schools wanted to host? Is that how you view it?
Well, that's what we anticipated would probably be the case whenever we left the meeting in February, that they were going to work with individuals or decide who's going to be the basketball tournament chairman, who's going to be, take a sport and assign someone to it. We anticipated at the time we just needed dates on when they were going to play the basketball championships. We knew where they were going to play. That was going to be at the highest seed or the home team's highest seed gymnasiums. And football, the same thing, depending upon they played someplace historically, that's their home site. That was all we were waiting for, and a date. Because one of the rubs, when we had the split championships in football, was there was this 2-week period from the time they finished their season until the time they got to the Superdome. And one of our proposals, we even allowed it in conversation with my board president, Mr. Bundy, and my vice president, Mr. Federico, that we would allow them to do something between the 2 events when the season ended, of the teams that had qualified, scrimmage, bang heads, do whatever you needed to do something so there wasn't this big 2-week period before you got to the Superdome, and that wasn't acted on either. So back to the original question, it needed to be a tournament format committee, whoever that was, whoever the movers and shakers that wanted to take on that role, and it turned into what it's turned into now, which. As it's known publicly, I don't recognize it as that group. They don't need to have a constitution. They don't need to have a CEO and a deputy CEO and all the officers they have. They felt they need to do that, and that's part of the piece that I think has caused the rub with the public schools, is that if they really want to be part of the association, then stop that. But they haven't, and I think it may have driven a wider wedge. Whether the leadership of that group says we want to come back together, the actions in which they've done this shows differently in the opinion of many across the state in our public school settings.
Well, we've got one more executive committee meeting coming up for this year in 2019, and then in 2020 we've got another annual convention coming up. Lots of proposals coming in currently, but what would you like to see for membership, and how does that push get made to potentially bring the organization back as one?
Well, when we surveyed the schools, we had the 3 options on the survey. Bring everybody back together, keep the split, make some adjustments, or have 2 separate organizations. The top 2 was bring everybody back together, 2 separate organizations. So proposals are being prepared. That'll be disseminated the next couple of days to our constitutional attorney to go through to make sure that all the conflicts are out and everything's written the way it's supposed to be written. And then it'll go to the executive committee for review, and then we'll send it out to membership. But the number of proposals is over 100. Wow. Well, normally we have 60 per convention, and we can get through those. A large number of these are what we were charged to do, which was clean up the handbook, and we're doing that. We found a large number of conflicts. We found a number of items that are in our handbook that we're not sure how they got there. There's no documentation in the digest or how it was there. So we're cleaning that pieces up, and we're trying to make the book smaller, but still get the point across and get the rule there. Less is more, which is what we're trying to attempt to do. And so there's going to be a number of those that are coming, 50 or so, of just cleaning stuff up, which it'll be my job and others to explain why we're doing it, what we're doing it, and it's why we hired somebody to do that outside of our regular council. So that's an important piece. And then there's some other submissions. We have over 30, almost 40 submissions from other principals on other items, and we have a number that was submitted by a select group in regards to trying to bring the organization back together as well. So that's all going to be given the membership. The good news is, unlike years in the past, is that we'll have that in the membership's hands, not organized in a sequence of priority, but just so they can read it, so they can see what they look like. They'll have them close to 60, 70 plus days before we ever get before we actually get to the convention, actually more than that, because then we'll take that group and we'll take it to our November board meeting coming up. We'll set the agenda through the executive committee, and then at that point we'll be able to disseminate. So they will see the constitutional changes, they'll see the bylaw changes, and the order in which those are going to be set and be voted on when we get to the annual convention. So everything's on schedule right now, and we're looking forward to it. And I think it's going to be a very important January meeting, just as is important the one we had last year. But I truly believe when we leave this January meeting, the LHSAA is going to look different than it does right now.
Well, with that being said, here's your opportunity to basically give a message to all of membership. Just kind of give me your message to membership right now with everything going on.
Well, trust the process, and I think that's an important part, that we have a process in place. Trust the process. We have an incredible administrative team here at the LHSAA. We have a very supportive executive committee that all of you have put in those roles to sit on our committee. We have good leadership in that committee, and believe me when I tell you that we're doing what we think is right for every student in the state association, regardless of where you go to school, what you do and where you go and what city you live in, from all four corners of our state, regardless if you're a small school of 28 students or if you're a large school of 2,800. It doesn't matter to us, because what we're trying to do is let's make it not only the best experience, but you have full-time people here that our job is to not only enforce the rules, enforce them fairly, swiftly, but also to host and put on some of the best championships that we can have. Because remember that the student athletes, when they participate in our state championships, that for some will be the last time they ever put on a uniform representing that community. They will look forward to the homecomings to come back, to know that they stood on that field or that court or participated wherever it might be, in that pool or on a track. So not everybody's going to the next level. Statistics tell us that. So we want to make sure it's a memorable experience, and it's unfortunate right now some aren't going to get the experience that they deserved, and I'm speaking specifically of participating in the 39th Annual Prep Classic at the Superdome.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Bonine, LHSAA Executive Director. I'm here with Vice President of the LHSAA Executive Committee, David Federico. David, just want to talk to you a little bit about the special interest group known as the Louisiana Select Association. Just want to know your thoughts about it, and then kind of take me through a brief timeline for you as a principal. David's also the principal of Ecole Classique and communication you've received.
Well, basically, in January, we passed some proposals that we were going to allow the select schools to set up their championships as they wanted to run them. Then the next thing we found out is that there is a new group being formed called the Louisiana Select Association that drew up a constitution, and we're looking to put together venues for the championships. That's not really what we approved, and we have met with representatives from the LSA on 3 separate occasions. There was no structure from them as to what they were going to do. They didn't really tell us what their plans were, only that they were looking for venues. Never did we approve venues. We approved that the highest seed home team would host the championship games for the most part. So we have done everything we can as the Louisiana High School to encourage the select schools to come back and join us for championships. It's not an easy task for them to put together, but we're more than welcome to have them back. We made that offer, but they have not accepted that offer at the present time.
David, you are a select school principal. You really weren't even included on all communications sent out to select schools. So talk about some of the things that you weren't included on, and then give me kind of timeline when you did start to become included on some of that communication, and then how you have worked with representatives from that special interest group since then.
The first emails that were being sent out were not really coming to me. I received them from some other principals in the Select Association. Eventually, word got back to the CEO that I was not getting them. I have now been included on those emails. I can't honestly say that I'm in favor of the LSA and what's going on. I'm hoping that we can get all this back together, but to get it back together is going to take a lot of work on our part. And I don't see the new formation of a new association right now, which the LHSAA does not approve, has not worked with to even get us back together at the present time. It's just defeating the purpose that we're trying to reach in January.
Obviously, you communicate with membership being a part of the executive committee. So if there was one message that you could give to all of our member schools, select and non-select, what would that message be?
Basic message I would say is that several years ago we decided to split the association into select and non-select. I think a lot of principals at this point realize that was not the right decision to make, that we need to get it back into one association. Most of these student athletes would like to see it brought back together, and without offending anybody, I think it's time for adults to act like adults and start doing what's in the best interests of the student athletes at this point in time. Get a championship that you're worthy of, but compete against everyone.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Powerade, the official sideline thirst quencher of the LHSAA. Want to help your school get updated equipment, upgrade facilities, or buy some new uniforms? Enter for a chance to win $2,000 for your school's athletic programs by submitting a video or essay to Powerade Power Your School. Enter at PoweradePowerYourSchool.com. We hope you will. And by the way, next Thursday night, the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week heads to Acadiana as first-year program Southside plays host to Lafayette High. You can join Eric, Kate, and me next Thursday at 7 on the LHSAA live app or on CrescentCitySports.com. And don't forget, Crescent City Sports has even more high school football for you tomorrow night. It's a good one. Unbeaten Hanville playing host to Central Lafourche. Catch the District 7 5A matchup between the Tigers and Trojans from Boutique tomorrow at 7, live at CrescentCitySports.com. At the half, it is St. Charles Catholic 14 and Franklinton nothing. Ken Trahan with Eric Held, and this has been one that's been all about the defenses to this point as we take a look at some of the first half numbers. First downs, there have only been 8 total, 5 for St. Charles Catholic, 3 for Franklinton. Penalties have been an issue for the Comets. 6 for 58 yards. Franklinton 1 for 10 yards. Franklinton has the only sack. The big number is turnovers. 3 committed by Franklinton and the fumbled punt by St. Charles Catholic, which they lost. Rushing yards, 53 for the Comets, 20 for the Demons. Passing yards, 56 for St. Charles Catholic, 30 for Franklinton. Total yards, 109 to 50 in favor of St. Charles Catholic. So what do you take from these first half numbers, Eric?
Ken, I think the first half, you listen to Coach Monica in his halftime interview with Kate. He's never satisfied. That's been his mantra his entire career, and I think that spills over to his team. He always wants more, and he's about perfection. He wants to eliminate the penalties. He wants to eliminate the personnel miscues. Big part for him at halftime is talking to his offense and telling them, hey, we've got to win first down so we don't end up behind the chains. Win first down. Have a 4-yard gain or more, and put yourselves in good position because, let's face it, the Comets are built on their defense and their special teams. If you're Coach Barber for Franklinton, hey, with the exception of one big play, the big pass play by Dumas, our defense has played pretty well.
Right.
Talk to them about that. Stay positive. Tell them continue to play hard. Come up with a turnover. Run to the football. Put yourself in position when a ball does pop out or where there's an errant pass. You're in position to make a play so that you have great field position. And on offense, stop shooting yourselves in the foot with turnovers, and the same thing with special teams. Catch the punts, catch kickoffs, because when you do catch a kick, the one time they did, they returned it out past the 40-yard line. So some thoughts there for you coming out of halftime.
Well, looking at some of the individual numbers in the first half, Philip Tran for St. Charles Catholic has 6 carries for 18 yards. Zach Vickner, 4 carries for 16 yards. Both Tran and Vickner have a rushing touchdown. Keenan Goff, I should say, not Kenneth, but Keenan Goff has 5 carries for 20 yards. Got myself on my mind. And then passing the ball, Vickner's 1 of 1 for 7 yards. Justin Dumas, 3 of 5, 49 yards in the half. And, of course, Goff has the catch for 35 yards to lead the way. For Franklinton, it's Warren with 3 carries for 8 yards. Mike Martin has been held to 7 carries for 12 yards. And Jasper LaSalle is 4 of 7, 30 yards. The 2 interceptions obviously have been an issue there. Caleb Brown, 3 catches, 17 yards for Franklinton. And, of course, St. Charles Catholic will get the ball first to start the second half.
Something there that you want to, this first drive for the Comets, you want to move the football, move the sticks. If you do have to punt, pin them deep, and make Franklinton drive the field against you. We haven't seen Franklinton's best version of themselves on offense yet. You mentioned Mike Martin, 7 carries for 12 yards. LaSalle's been off the first half. Go back to what you've been doing well. Give your guys confidence. Ask your quarterback, hey, what do you like in the passing game? And then put some of the pressure on him and say, hey, we're going to run you more like we have in previous games. Coming in, as I mentioned, defensive coordinator for the Comets, Wayne Stein, said the best offense that they've faced this year.
Kickoff getting set. They're switching sides to do that. With that, let's check in with Kate Adams standing by on the Franklinton sideline. Kate?
Well, guys, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Barber at the half. Basically asked him what his message was to his team was, and he told me, look, they've got to continue to battle. They can't. The game's not over. There's still 2 more quarters, and he wants to see what his team practiced this week. So stay in the battle, and they can pull it off, guys.
All right, thank you, Kate. Keachin, Catra will kick it off. Catra to kick it off, and twin receivers are deep for St. Charles Catholic. Goff and Tran are those receivers standing up at about the 15. Catra kicks it, and he kicks it toward Tran, who's got it at the 22. Looking for a wall, 30, 35. Good return up near the 40 by Philip Tran. Stayed patient, waited for his blocking, and got what he could out of that.
He had a kick-out block in front of him from the opposite hash, and as I've mentioned previous weeks, kickoff return is an inside zone play. Be patient, press it, keep pressing it, and wait for that hole where you can make one cut and get downhill, or cut it back and then get back downhill. Inside zone play. Great job by Tran being patient.
Very good field position at the 40 to start the second half for the Comets. On first down, straight keeper, Vickner looking for a block. Cuts back. He'll get himself 5 yards in the process. Vickner, speaking of patience, he waited for that to develop.
Yes, he did, Ken. And Vickner has really showed some of his skill set for us tonight and put it to good use on the ground for the Comets. We saw the touchdown run off of the speed sweep fake, which he muffed, made good use of it. Then again there, stretch the defense. Put your right foot in the ground, get downhill. Gain of 5 on first down.
2nd and 5 at the 45-yard line, and a straight quarterback draw. Vickner to about the 48. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 after the gain of 3.
Quarterback lead draw. 2 consecutive runs there for Vickner. Puts him at 3rd and 2. Your best 3rd and short play right here.
Goff comes in with it from the sideline. Twin receivers right, single left. Forsythe lines up in the backfield. See if they motion Goff here. They will. And he will get the carry. Looking for the block, first down. Crosses midfield and gets down to about the 46 of Franklinton. Well-devised play, well-blocked play, and a first down for the Comets at the Franklinton 46 on a nice gain of 6.
Good job by Kenan Goff there on the speed sweep. A lot of times you'll see young ball carriers on speed sweep just try and circle the defense and get outside the numbers. Great job by Goff not doing that and cutting up inside, understanding down and distance, getting the first down.
at the Franklinton 46-yard line. Fake it. Vicknair keeps it. Vicknair fights down to about the 42-yard line. Picks up 4 more, and they stay right on schedule. In the process, Kemp was there defensively. 2nd down and 6.
3 of the first 4 offensive snaps, Ken, have been runs by Vicknair. 3 carries for 13 yards on this drive.
To the 42, 2nd and 6. They've stayed short side for the most part here. Counter play. Goff follows his blocking. He'll get a 1st down and more. Goff sprints inside the 25. He's down to about the 20-yard line. Ball came out, but he was down on the play. Down by contact at the 19-yard line, a gain of 23 and another 1st down.
Another thing you like to see if you're a coach there by Goff is the patience in the running game on counter. Staying inside instead of bouncing it outside. He had the opportunity to do that. If he bounced it outside, he would have had a gain of about 7 or 8 yards, put his right foot in the ground, got downhill. Big gain for Goff. Now the Comets are in the red zone.
Noah Breland limps off the field for Franklinton. And the Comets on the move in the red zone of the 19-yard line. 6th play of the drive to start the second half. Keeper, Vicknair, 15, 10, 5. Vicknair scores. Zach Vicknair on a keeper right side, 19 yards, and the Comets open up a 20-0 lead.
4 carries on the drive by Vicknair. Physical runner right there. As he got downhill and made his way toward the goal line, looked like a few Demon defenders wanted no part of him. Vicknair making himself known as a downhill physical runner, adding another dimension to the Comet offense.
Extra point attempt coming. Up, and it is good. 9:12 to play in the third quarter, and St. Charles Catholic has opened up a 21-0 lead. Boy, you talk about making a statement. Took the second half kickoff and drove it 6 plays, 60 yards, 2:48 off the clock. Vicknair, the 19-yard touchdown run. Strong statement by the Comets.
Their second long drive of the night. First half, 11 plays, 75 yards, and now coming up 60-yard drive on 6 plays. Something that the Comets, or Coach Monaco, wanted to see his Comet offense do. Drive the football and be physical up front. That's what you saw right there from the Comet offensive line, led by left tackle Evan Roussel, who is a Nicholls State commitment.
Solid drive. Vicknair scores for the second time. 21-0 lead, St. Charles Catholic.
Here's where your Franklinton field the kickoff and make a play with one of your skilled guys.
Solid kick, returnable from the 10. 20, big room. 30, cutback. And a big return out to about the 40-yard line. Well set up. Good return by Keon Nelson, the sophomore. Franklinton in business at its own 40-yard line, in need of a drive.
Earlier in the game, fielded it cleanly. Big return for Franklinton. Again, repeat that effort from earlier in the game. Received the kickoff cleanly. Nice sideline return scheme there by the Demons.
Demons started their 41. Good field position here. LaSalle quick throw to the perimeter. Cuts back, short yardage, maybe a yard. Just good pursuit on the play. Catch by Warren.
Right idea by play caller John Lambert for the Demons. Get the ball to my best players in space. Comets are great at running to the football with their pursuit and finishing plays on defense.
No gain, 2nd and 10. 4 receivers set, 2 to either side. LaSalle to Martin. Fights for 2 yards. Again, it's been tough sledding for him throughout because of this defense. And That was Mason Narcisse, who was there. Great to call his name.
Great to see him back in the lineup, back in action for the Comets. When their other big D lineman, Clark, comes back, they're going to be tough to move the football on in the D3 playoffs.
3rd and 8 at the 43-yard line. Under 8 minutes to play in the third quarter, 21-0 St. Charles Catholic. Motion Martin, LaSalle looking for him. He throws down the field instead and almost picked off, overthrown, as the pass was well overshot, intended for Caleb Brown. But the closest man to the football was Caden Foster of St. Charles Catholic.
LaSalle, frustrated by the Comet pressure, had a receiver open there in the flat. If he would have checked it down to that receiver, nice throw and catch, would have had a first down.
Offense has stayed on the field here. It's 4th down and 8 from the 43. So Franklinton making a statement here. They feel like they've got to make something happen. Willing to take a chance. 4th and 8 at their own 43. LaSalle retreats. Heavy rush. Got it off as he's hit, and it's incomplete. And the Comets will get the ball on downs with another great defensive stand. Josh Toplane with the pressure. So the ball goes over on downs to St. Charles Catholic on the Franklinton side of the field. In great shape at the 43-yard line.
I think it was a good call by Coach Barber, realizing the number of possessions he's going to have in the second half. The remainder of the game were very limited, especially with the Comets trying to chew clock up 3 scores. Got to go for it there.
Goff, the tailback, now splits in the backfield with Forsythe. Forsythe gets the call, his first carry. Forsythe crossing the 40 to about the 39, has 4.
Up 3 scores, getting down into the halfway point of the third quarter. You're going to see the Comets keep the ball on the ground for the most part, chew some clock, and shorten the game the rest of the way. Limit the number of possessions that the Demons will have on offense.
Logan Forsythe gets 4. 2nd and 6 at the 39. Wide side, right side of the field. Motion Goff. Fake it. Vickner keeps it. Cuts in. Tackled at about the 38-yard line. Solid job defensively there by Ben Bickham, the senior.
The Franklinton defense, with the exception of the previous drive, opening drive of the half, 6 plays, 60 yards for the Comets in the first half. Outside of the long pass completion, the Demon defense has played pretty well in this contest.
Just haven't had any help from the offense. Gain of 1, it's 3rd and 5 from the 38. Dumas the pitch. Tran looking for the first down. He'll drive hard and get it. Philip Tran on the option play to the short side gets another St. Charles Catholic first down. Move those chains.
Tran just 5'7", 165, but a physical runner who finished that run there, Ken. Finished the run, made a statement there, lowered his shoulder, carried the defender 4 yards to finish the run. Nice lead option scheme there for the Comets.
At the 31-yard line after the gain of 7. Quick snap. Dumas wants to throw it, in trouble. Escapes one, but he won't escape the second wave. He's down. So Dumas will go down. That'll go as a sack at the 31-yard line for no gain.
Mentioned before about Vickner adding a new dimension to the offense. And you'll see Vickner come back in here. Down the stretch, getting this on film where you have Vickner number 4 at quarterback and, of course, the starter number 1 at quarterback, and even getting Landesh, who has seen some time, getting them on film, really giving defensive coordinators some headaches in preparation.
Vickner back in. Speed sweep Tran to the short side. Cuts back. Tran crossing the 30 and getting down to about the 28-yard line. So Philip Tran. And we have an injured Franklinton player on the play. Got it down to the 27 officially. And we'll check the injury for the Demons. Stops the clock with 5:17 to play in the third quarter. Player is laid out on the far side of the field, being tended to by St. Charles Catholic staff, medical staff, and now the Franklinton medical staff makes its way over there as well as they check things out. We remind you that this portion of tonight's game is being presented by Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs, and a proud recipient of the Top Insurance Workplace Award for 2019 from Insurance Business America. That's Riverlands Insurance. Thanks to Nolan Luke, Donna DiCarlo, the whole group at Riverlands, expanding and doing a great job. Still tending to the injured player. Next Thursday night, the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week heads to Acadiana as the first-year program Southside plays host to Lafayette High. Join Eric, Kate, and me next Thursday at 7 on the LHSAA live app or at CrescentCitySports.com. Injured player is a big lineman who's being helped off the field. I believe it's Jacob Turnage, who's had a good game. Disappointing, not able to put much weight at all on his left leg. So he'll have to be replaced, and St. Charles Catholic will play a 3rd and 6 at the Franklinton 27-yard line.
Looks like an ankle for Turnage as he comes to the sideline. Definitely not something you want to see in your senior Jacob Turnage.
3rd down and 6. Playing Bullock in there defensively. Vickner, the quarterback, fakes the speed sweep, keeps it inside. Straight ahead, first down. Broke a tackle, running hard. Vickner not going to be denied. He gets all the way down to the 1-yard line. 26 yards and a 1st and goal, and the running of Vickner is making a huge difference.
Coming into the game, Vickner, 22 carries, 131 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry. Definitely boosting his rushing resume as we move deeper into the regular season.
1st and goal at the 1. Comets knocking on the door to add some more here. Full house backfield. Now this is a power formation, power I all the way. Tran the deep back, he gets the call, he gets the score, standing up, touchdown, St. Charles Catholic. As they brought in Caden Jones to help lead the way, and they pound their way in, and it's 27-0. Comets on top.
Definitely making a statement here on their 2 offensive possessions in the second half. Big drives and making a statement up front physically, resetting the line of scrimmage against the Demon front.
Chauvin for the extra point. And Chauvin has converted once more with 4:34 to play in the third. 28-0 St. Charles Catholic on top. 2 possessions in this half and 2 touchdowns. Well, they came out of the locker room and really got the offense situated properly, and they are executing extremely well. That's a 7-play drive and 43 yards, and they do it in 3 minutes and 2 seconds with Tran scoring on the 1-yard run set up by the Vickner 26-yard run, and a 28-0 lead for the Comets.
Like what the Comets are doing with their speed sweep fake, they're setting up their quarterback runs off the speed sweep fake with the speed sweep, of course, to Goff and Tran, adding a different dimension. And then when you add a healthy Dumas in at quarterback as well, that's just another skilled position weapon that the Comets have. Definitely a team to be reckoned with as we move forward and closer to the postseason in Division III.
What else is new? This is an annual occurrence. Such a consistently outstanding program. Kick is away and fielded at the 9. Running right, this time tackled. Ball came out. Scramble. St. Charles Catholic thinks they have it, and they do. Comets come up with it. 4th turnover of the game. And this time it's 47 coming up with it, and that's Bryce Bertucci, who recovers it. Fourth turnover by Franklinton, and St. Charles Catholic is in business once again.
Fumble forced there by number 10. Who else? Mandel Eugene, the stud linebacker for the Comets. Great play from this side of the kickoff formation, keeping the ball inside and in front, making the tackle, forcing the fumble. Eugene, a junior, been offered by Tulane.
He's a really good football player.
I'm very impressed.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. I was telling Frank Monick about somebody that he reminded me of earlier. Snap it, counter play. Goff continues to run hard, and Goff gets down near the 10, about a yard short of a first down, but he has 9 yards on the play. So Goff gets 9. It's 2nd down and 1. His son, Frank Monica's son, Nick Monica, defensive coordinator at Rummel, a couple of years ago, had maybe the best defensive player in Louisiana. Your team played against him, Derek Munson, linebacker. Same size, same kind of player. Frank thought it was a good comparison.
Very good comparison when you look at them in pads. Very similar builds and in skill qualities as well.
2nd and 1. Power inside Goff. Goff is sprinting inside the 5, and he's down to about the 3. 1st and goal for St. Charles Catholic, a gain of 6.
Tran and Goff both, definitely not the biggest guys in the world, but great examples how you don't have to be a big, thick back to run power inside and to run counter tray inside as well.
1st and goal at the 3 with the clock down toward 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Comets in control and trying to tack on another here. Goff the deep back. They've got Jones, the big man, in front of him now. Now they split the backs. Dumas, the quarterback, and he gives it to the big man, Jones, fighting forward to the 2, to the 1, touchdown. Touchdown, St. Charles Catholic, as they give the ball to Caden Jones, and he's in from 3 yards out. Feed the big man. He eats, and it's 34-0. Very impressive.
Nice ISO play there with Tran, all 165 pounds soaking wet as the lead ISO blocker.
And Caden Jones says, thank you, I'll take this. He does. And now the extra point coming. Well executed once again. Chauvin's perfect on the day, and it's 2:44 to play in the 3rd. It's 35-0. St. Charles Catholic on top. Really impressive.
3 straight drives in a row, kind of sounding the death knell on the football field.
Well, this was set up by the fumbled kickoff. 4 plays, 19 yards on the drive. Flag down on the play for whatever reason. And we'll see after it's over with. So they'll call block below the waist on St. Charles Catholic, it appears. So enforced on the kickoff, I would imagine. Haven't seen any mark-off yet. Looks like the mark-off's going to be against Franklinton. So it's going to work against Franklinton here. So block below the waist. Only the 2nd penalty against the Demons in the game. So the kickoff looks like it'll come from the 45 of the Demons now. Now they're going to mark off more. This is going to be a double personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct. They're going to kick off from the 30-yard line. Wow.
Looked like it was something on the snap and then post-snap, post-kick on the unsportsmanlike conduct. If the score was not 35-0 and you're kicking from the plus 30, you onside kick and you try and get the football. And if you don't recover, they got to go 80-plus to score against you.
On the other hand, you're up 35 and your defense has been terrific. Just kick in the end zone or just kick it high and try to keep it in the field of play. A lot of choices here when you're kicking off from the opponent's 30-yard line. Don't know that I've seen this. And there you go. Just bang it as hard as you can.
Tell them kick it through the uprights there, kid.
There you go.
One thing that helps prepare you for that you may never see, we saw that happen on Sunday in London with the free kick opportunity.
Saw it.
That's where that comes into play. I know St. Charles Catholic practices that as well with a fair catch free kick opportunity. So that's a great example where you have an opportunity to work on it, and you tell your guys that going out there with the ball at the plus 30, hey, we're up 35-0. We're going to work on something here. Let's work fair catch free kick. Years ago, we actually kicked the ball off from the 15-yard line. 3 personal foul penalties, kicked it off. I think it was the 17.5 the way it worked out, something like that.
Right.
And just blasted it through the end zone. There was no point in trying to onside kick being up a few touchdowns.
2:44 to play in the third, and Franklinton starts at its own 20, and LaSalle wants to throw it. And LaSalle's going to throw it deep for all he's worth. Jump ball coming and incomplete. Tipped away out of bounds. Pass intended for Caleb Brown, and a good job in coverage by Caden Foster. And it's 2nd and 10.
Caden Foster, a 5'8 freshman. They're going to attack him. Nice ball thrown by LaSalle. Even better job by Foster, leveraging the receiver to the boundary. Great job staying on his hip, leveraging him, playing the football. An education rep there for the young kid.
2nd and 10 at the 20. LaSalle, heavy rush, got it off, incomplete. Pressure in his face, and he wasn't able to make the throw accurately because of Mandel Eugene, who was there in a hurry.
Shocking that number 10 is making a play for the Comets.
He's really good.
You're up 35-0. You got your freshman in right there, and he's got an opportunity to make a play on first down, which is, as I mentioned, it's an education because coming up real soon they're going to see some bullets being fired next week from Arch Manning.
3rd and 10 of the 20. Motion right. LaSalle to throw. Steps up, delivers down the middle, incomplete. He had a receiver, but again, the pressure was stiff, and he got decked on the play. The pressure applied by Eli Ori, and he's not getting up. Wow. I mean, every time he drops back, he's getting hit, Eric. One too many hits here, it appears.
Hopefully he's okay. Writhing in pain, it looks like. Hopefully he's okay.
With 2:21 to play in the third quarter. Not what you want to see at all.
Coming into the game, Franklinton's offense was the best offense that Comet defensive coordinator Wayne Stein had seen, and they're shutting these guys out, holding them to 50 yards of offense in the first half, creating turnovers, creating pressure. It's something they do every year, every game, and it's something that's going to carry them deep into the Division III playoffs. You look at the Division III landscape, you have Notre Dame, Lafayette Christian, who Notre Dame was leading LCA 7-0 at halftime. And then next week we'll see, I believe, St. Charles Catholic and Newman.
Yep, best teams in the class matching up in consecutive weeks.
Easily the 4 best teams in Division III. And then tomorrow night, if you want to look, hey, who's the number 5 team in Division III? You have a matchup in Baton Rouge, Episcopal and Dunham, two teams that are both 5-1.
Yep, have a reporter at that one. Again, unfortunately, he's still down. And really unfortunate to see this stoppage. Just would love to see him pop up if possible, but haven't seen that. He did move earlier, so I can tell you that. A lot of attention being paid here, and understandably so. Lafayette Christian has tied Notre Dame 7-7 with 1:24 to play in the third quarter on a pick six by Brylan Green. Great game. Expected it would be.
Something you don't see very often from the pioneers of Notre Dame, mistakes being made on offense. And Lafayette Christian taking advantage of it.
Still tending to the injured player. Crescent City Sports has even more high school football for you tomorrow night. When unbeaten Hahnville plays host to Central Lafourche. Catch the District 7 5A matchup between the Tigers and Trojans tomorrow at 7 live at CrescentCitySports.com. As the injured player continues to be tended to. Tough stuff.
Both teams on knees on the sideline, and an eerie silence has fallen.
Yeah, I mean, when you're down
Stadium.
this long, it's really a disconcerting and very concerning, and just quiet as can be, as you might imagine. LaSalle in block 20-16 in the third quarter. Last check on that one. Rises. Big round of applause. And his right arm is completely wrapped. So, not good. We'll get Kate to check on that to see specifically what it is, but obviously it's a right arm injury of some sort. And a punting situation. And they'll be without their quarterback as well.
Looked like Kadarius Mark, number 10, was taking snaps on the sideline in the shotgun. Anticipate seeing him at quarterback, replacing LaSalle, who, of course, we hope is okay.
Caleb Brown to punt it away. Single receiver deep is Philip Tran. And we'll get movement up front before this play can take off. Comets with their first penalty of this half, 7th of the game for 63 yards. Now Brown will try to get it off. Does so. Off to the left side, bounces Franklinton territory at about the 45-yard line, and that's where it's going to stop. Comets will get the ball again on the Franklinton side of the field after a 25-yard punt with 2:10 to play in the third. 35-0 Comets on top.
LaSalle being assisted on his way to the locker room, as you mentioned, his entire right arm in a wrap.
Yep.
Suspect either a arm or shoulder injury for the senior quarterback for the Demons. Very unfortunate.
Oakdale leading Kinder 7-6 in the fourth quarter. St. Charles Catholic at the 45 of Franklinton. New quarterback in the game, new running back in the game, and the new running back fights forward for a couple of yards, maybe two there. That's John Decker on the carry. So Decker gets 2 to the 44.
Decker, the sophomore, coming into the game, 14 carries, 36 yards. So,
and Reed Landesh is the new quarterback, who's played quite a bit this year, as we alluded to earlier, the junior.
Landesh 12 of 26 for 53 yards passing. Don't expect being ahead 35-0 that we'll see him pass too much here going forward tonight.
2nd and 8 at the 44. Decker will get the call. Decker will be wrapped up and thrown back.
With a third quarterback in and some other youngsters in, everyone getting an opportunity to get some reps, a great opportunity for the Comets to build depth as we move forward. Outside zone play on first down and then power right there.
Good to see Jacob Turnage in and making that stop for Franklinton.
Good to see him back on the field, the senior defensive lineman for Franklinton. But if you're the Comets, stay with what your young kids know, and they've repped that thousands of times, outside zone and power.
A lot of white shirts in there, which means they're clean. On 3rd and 8. Sprint draw, bobble the ball. Decker lost it, but a good job by Landesh to fall on it. Back at the 47-yard line. So it's a muff and a loss of 3, which will mean a punt in all likelihood for St. Charles Catholic. That's what happens when you put a lot of new guys in the game, right?
Definitely so, and they'll let the clock run out as the game clock is at 14 seconds.
So the third quarter
25.
will come to a close here, and at the end of 3 quarters from Demon Stadium, 35-0, St. Charles Catholic on top. We'll check in with Kate Adams when we return in a moment. You are watching the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week. Fourth quarter set to begin. 35-0 is the lead for St. Charles Catholic over Franklinton. Ken Trahan, Eric Held. Let's check in with Kate Adams on the Franklinton sideline with an injury update. Kate?
Thanks, Ken. Well, always unfortunate when you see a player go down like that, but senior Demon quarterback Jasper LaSalle right in his right elbow was hurting. They think it could be a fracture. They're not really. He is actually on his way to the hospital right now, so let's hope that he's okay. Back to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. I'm afraid of that, but the punt rolls down inside the 20. We'll be down to the 19 with 11:48 left to play. Franklinton offense will be back on the field from its own 19-yard line, and Franklinton will have a new quarterback in the game as a result. And we'll check that, as Eric told you who he saw taking a few snaps earlier, so we'll see if, in fact, that turns out to be the case. Could also line up in Wildcat. Some options to consider here. That looks like it's going to be Corinthius Dickerson. So Corinthius Dickerson is going to be able to take the snap, and he drops the ball. Picks it up. Dickerson's in trouble. Dickerson's running left. Dickerson's going to be down for a big loss at about the 10-yard line. So loss of 8 yards on the play. New players in the game defensively. Reggie Hackett makes the stop.
Unfortunate there, Ken. Just not handling the snap. Something that he probably hasn't had a whole ton of reps at. And I mentioned before, number 10, Kendarius Mark, probably taking some snaps in case he's needed at quarterback. Believe he's the third quarterback for the Demons.
Loss of 9 for Dickerson, 2nd and 19. Throw outside caught by Brown at the 15. Brown, nice form tackle, now gang tackle, but somehow he busted out of it, but they say he was down. Ball came out, so Brown tackled at the 18-yard line, stopped the forward progress there, a gain of 8.
Had 7 white jerseys around the football there, trademark of the Comet defense. Everybody getting to the football, ball pops loose. You're there in position for the fumble recovery.
To the 19-yard line, I should say, where it's going to be 3rd down and 9. 10:25 to play in the game. Dickerson with 3 receivers to the left side of the field takes the snap, retreats to throw. Looking, he's going to be in trouble, got away. Can he get to the marker? Trying to go wide, he's going to be fighting off a tackle, but now the white shirts converge and put him down, and a late flag comes down again. Now the quarterback spikes the ball as well. He's tackled at the 19-yard line, no gain, but we'll check the flag.
Frustration there on the part of Dickerson at the end of the play.
Officials discuss the option.
Great job of keeping the play alive with your feet, with your athletic ability. He had the back open in the flat in the check down, elected to run.
And now the referee will let us know specifically what it is. Personal foul, St. Charles Catholic. So it's 15 on the Comets, which means a first down. That's 8 penalties and 78 yards on St. Charles Catholic.
You can go back, and Frank Monica, being the perfectionist that he is going to go back and definitely let his team know about it at the end of the game, in the post-game huddle, on the bus ride home, and in the locker room too.
3 first downs by penalty now in the game for Franklinton as a result of Comet infractions.
Their best offensive plays so far,
well,
unfortunately.
It's one thing to be aggressive. It's another thing to be too aggressive. 1st and 10 at the 34. Martin gets the call. Martin is going to be hit and stopped for no gain. And on the tackle there was Eli Ori, who's still in there. So Martin has just not been able to get going in this game at all after 3 big games in a row. He's got 9 carries for 14 yards.
Ori, a defensive technician, mentioned before, not the biggest guy, at 6 feet 190.
Mm-hmm.
Technique sound, plays hard every snap, great effort, plays through the whistle. Good athletic family with older brother playing infield for the Nicholls State Colonels.
2nd and 10, Dickerson wants to throw it. Rolling right, he's going to stop and throw. Diving catch made up around the 36-yard line. Nicely done by number 16, Cornelius Laurent.
Nice job by the backup quarterback getting it out there to Laurent. Mentioned Ori. We had a back out the backfield, run a wheel route, stop in the flat. Ori kept running with him. That's his assignment. Drop underneath and cover the receiver out of the backfield. Great
job. Gain of 2, 3rd and 8 at the 36, and Dickerson wants to throw. Pressured, flushed out, rolls left, could run, could throw. He's going to throw. Look out. Diving interception attempt made, and incomplete. Almost picked off. Diving effort made, but incomplete. And, boy, that would have been multiple picks there for Topline, who was there. We couldn't come up with it. Good effort.
Great effort. Definitely trapped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Sideline trying to sell it. Some of the coaches trying to sell it.
Topline trying to sell it.
Great job by the officials making the correct call.
Caleb Brown will punt it away. Philip Tram will drop deep for the Comets. Good snap. St. Charles Catholic will let it bounce inside the 30 and down to the 27. This is the time to do that because you're up 35. No reason to try to handle it. Remember, they botched a punt earlier. So the right thing to do. And with 8:15 to play, the Comets get it back with a 35-point lead.
Absolutely correct. Don't field it. Let it hit the ground. No opportunity to turn it over. And you kill some clock as well.
At the 27-yard line.
Mentioned the officials got it right earlier on the trap. No interception call. Really good. When you play Thursday night games, you have an opportunity to get 7-man crews because the number of officials out there aren't taxed like they are on Friday. So
right.
Another advantage of playing on Thursday.
Landash remains the quarterback. I formation behind him. Another new back is in the game for the Comets. And the new back will get the pitch running right. Big trouble, big loss. So no chance to get started there for the new back in the game, who is Jermaine Roussel. So Roussel tackled at the 20, -7 on the play. 2nd and 17.
Keep the clock running and stay in bounds if you're the ball carrier.
2nd and 17 at the 20. Roussel breaks the eye this time. Running inside, another big loss. So the second teamers in there unable to block the Franklinton front now. Nice play there by number 40, Ben Bickham.
Get some youngsters in there. That's one issue you run into, where you get your youngsters in a 35-point lead, and you're facing the other team's starters.
Loss of 2 there, 3rd and 19. Under 7 minutes to play. On 3rd down, run it right, and finding a few yards. Across the 20 out to the 23-yard is Sturgis. So at the 22-yard line, it's 4th down. And a punting situation.
Comets will bring their first team punt team back on the field. You can never get enough reps with your first punt team. Goes a long way for down the road with protection.
Punt is away. Different punter now, however. On the run, he caught it. Look out. 35-30, 25-20. Could go. Beautiful return. Caught it on the run. Big return. All the way down about the 12-yard line. And a fine return there by Brian Williams. Puts Franklinton in business to get on the board here. There's a flag after the play again. Seen a few of these. Personal foul, this time on Franklinton. So it cost the Demons 15. The great field position will still be good, but not nearly as good because of 15 yards. Teams to the sidelines briefly. Try to collect their cool and play this one out. 5:40 to play. Line of scrimmage will end up being the 37. Would have been a lot better than that. Still, great opportunity for the Demons to get on the board here for the first time. Lost their quarterback LaSalle earlier. Arm or elbow injury. Comets are going to keep the football because of it. It was a pre-possession foul, so they're going to keep the ball. That's a big mistake.
Wipes out a great return when the Comets underkicked their coverage, and the return man saw that, took the opportunity to catch it. Big return, big mistake.
It really is. So the Comets can run some more clock here. And again, a lot of pushing after the play. And this is getting chippy, to say the least. And again, the officials doing their best to keep this under control. And here's another unsportsmanlike. This is on Both teams, I think. It is. Offset. So offsetting penalties. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
One was on 93 turnage for Franklinton as he comes off the field. Some frustrations coming out. Continue to play hard, but continue to play smart.
Sure. Aiden Alderman is in the game. Alderman is a freshman at quarterback for St. Charles Catholic, the 4th quarterback they've played in the game. Decker is the running back. Decker gets the call, runs into a brick wall, gets driven back. And there's another personal foul coming. This is on Franklinton. And this is really getting a bit ridiculous, to be honest with you. No need for it at all.
Not at this point. 35-0, under 5 minutes to go in the game. No need for it.
And it was obvious after the play. And another first down. All that's going to do is allow them to keep the ball and snap it more. And you understand the frustration. But, and I think this is a good move by Coach Barber. He wants to call timeout, talk to his team. And you know what he's doing here. He's just trying to tell them, let's play the game. Let's not do this anymore. Let's try to finish this the right way. And I'm sure Frank Monica's trying to do the same thing on the other side.
Correct. You get Coach Barber saying, hey, there's 4:45 left. We want to play hard, but we want to play smart. Continue to be physical, but stay within yourselves and be disciplined. There's no need to throw punches, to grab face masks.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, Coach Monica's telling him, hey, if someone throws a punch at you, turn your back, walk away.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's not your first instinct, obviously. You want to retaliate, but at the same time, doesn't accomplish anything at this stage. 4:45 to play. Ball's in midfield, off of the penalty by 15 yards. First down at midfield. Slow things down quite a bit as a result of these flags. Alderman will remain the quarterback. Devin Sturgis, the freshman running back, dots the I. And Sturgis will get the call, and he's going to get hit for a loss. You're playing with freshmen and backups against first-team defenders, so predictable. Loss of 2. Back to the 48, but the clock will continue to run. We approach 4 minutes to play. St. Charles in no hurry here. Understandably so. Rightfully so. As we approach 4 minutes and counting. Don't need to snap it until well under 4 minutes left here. Valuable playing time for a lot of young players for the Comets and resting starters for a big game next week with Newman.
Great for the freshman to get snaps under center at quarterback.
Alderman will give the Sturgis running right, and he's going to be wrapped up and thrown back. So Sturgis, no running room. No gain to 48-yard line, 3rd and 12. And the clock will wind down under 3 minutes before they snap it again. Barring a penalty, Franklinton will get the ball back once more.
And if St. Charles Catholic is able to get a first down.
Not likely with what we've seen, but
right,
it's not out of the question here.
Then they could almost run out the clock.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't and punt, then Franklinton will have a little bit over 2 minutes left to operate.
Sprint draw and going backwards. So nothing doing there for Sturgis. And it will result in a punt. So this will likely produce a punt. St. Charles Catholic could go for it, but they give Franklinton the ball on the left side of the field. We don't see the punt team yet. They're just going to let the clock run down here, it appears, and maybe take time out. Or even take a penalty, which is a possibility too. Either way, just let the clock run, sure. It'll be down about 2:05 or so when they call timeout or when they take the penalty. So there is the timeout with 2:03 left. Run it down to 2:02 actually. Extra tick went off. Timeout Comets with 2:02 left. Ran it down as far as they possibly could before they opted to take that timeout in this situation.
Looks like the offense is still huddling on the field near the numbers. They may run a play, or they may even get in the gun and quick kick it. That way they don't have to put their first punt team back on and have those guys get an added rep, because at this point you really don't need your first punt team. However, if you put your backups out there and Franklinton has their punt block team, that could be somewhat of a disaster.
Long conversation. Now they'll sprint out there. And they're just lining up and to run a play here. Audemont, the quarterback. Just going to run it. Big loss, big hit. As knocked backwards on the play was the ball carrier, Roussel. Ball will be at the 44, and that's where Franklinton will get it with 1:55 left, still trying to break through here. Lafayette Christian has taken a 14. Well, Notre Dame tied it. 14-14 now. With 5:03 left, Lafayette Christian, Notre Dame are tied at 14. What a game. Knew it would be.
Possibly playing for the number 1 seed
Yeah.
in Division III.
2 defending state champions in the same class now. Whistle sounds before the play. Official timeout. Slows it down further. So now ready to go from the 42-yard line. Run to the right. That's not going anywhere. Loss of a yard. To the 43-yard line. And another flag comes down after the play once more. Brian Williams was the ball carrier. And yet another flag. And this is going to go against St. Charles Catholic. 15 big ones, and now Franklinton will have a real chance to score. That's 9 penalties, 93 yards on the Comets.
That'll be an unsportsmanlike against the Comets. Resulting in a defense.
It's really the only thing that's kind of marred this game. You really don't like seeing it.
Coach Monica letting his young defensive lineman have it after that 15-yard penalty.
There's no need for it. I mean, got the game won. Here's a bullish run down to about the 20, and Franklinton will have a chance here as a result. Williams on the carry. So Williams gets a good 8-yard gain here. And it was another penalty by, first down by penalty, I should say. 8 yards on that run.
Unfortunately, Franklinton's best friend on offense today.
2nd and 2 at the 20, under a minute to play. Running right, he's got a chance. 15, 10, 5, out of bounds with 43 seconds left. Williams sprints down to the 3-yard line. First and goal on a gain of 17.
Could have maybe had a horse collar call there and moved it to the 1.5.
Yep. 17 yards for Williams. He's making the most of his carries here, Brian Williams. First and goal from the 3-yard line. Figures to be Williams once more. It is, and he will score. Touchdown, Franklinton, Brian Williams from 3 yards out. And Franklinton averts the shutout on a Williams 3-yard run. So Brian Williams running hard, scores here, make it 35-6. And now the extra point coming. This will be Keaton Catret to try it. And movement everywhere up front. We'll stop this. LaSalle leading block 32-26, now late fourth quarter in that contest. So Catret will try the extra point. Low snap, got it down. Kick is not going to get there. So it's going to be 35-6 with 35 seconds left. But good to see Franklinton get on the board as they do it in 4 plays, 43 yards. Williams scoring on a 3-yard run. And now St. Charles Catholic will get the kickoff and try to field it and just take a knee in all likelihood. Gotta believe.
You would think. Good to see the Demons get on the scoreboard, even if it is against reserves. Good for them to avoid the shutout.
(35-6), kickoff coming. And now the whistle sounds as the ball fell down. So this one just kind of creeping to a close here at Demon Stadium.
Someone upstairs is enjoying seeing football here from Demon Stadium. Wants it to keep going on.
Fair catch call for it, taken. Smart move. With 35 seconds left, all the Comets have to do here is take a knee and expire the clock, which I would imagine is going to happen. With 35 seconds left. Just a solid performance by St. Charles Catholic. Start to finish, defense all night, offense in the second half really picked it up. They got the job done in a big way.
You got to think Coach Monica rallied the troops at halftime, got on them, as we know he can do, and some quick drives there for the Comets, a couple of short ones, but they still found the end zone, and here we are 35-6 with what you would think would be the last play here by taking a knee.
Yeah, they put Justin Dumas in to just take a knee here, put the starters back in to execute this. You practice what you play. And they're just going to take the knee here. And that will do it. As the St. Charles Catholic Comets, very impressive tonight as they win it 35-6 over Franklinton here at Demon Stadium. Just a solid effort by the Comets from start to finish. Handshake line will take place, and we hope to visit with Coach Frank Monica as well. Just a solid performance by the Comets here tonight. Eric?
Sure. Some mistakes they made with getting penalties in the first half. They had the muff punt. In the second half, it was total domination. They owned the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, really showed their dominance up front, got after it and played physical football, which we know that Frank Monica coach teams have done for decades. And we've talked about it all game, how St. Charles Catholic, year in and year out, this year a power in Division III as they move from Class 3A to Class 2A, which puts them in the select Division III playoffs. And it should be a good one in this division moving forward.
All right, Kate Adams has Coach Frank Monica with her now. Kate, take it away. Go right ahead, Kate.
One of the few unsportsmanlike conduct penalties for both teams tonight. Just talk about put those pieces.
Important. Let's put the game on the field and not with your mouth and stuff like that. So we got first to point out kids about having poise and playing with discipline and stuff like that. I thought the big series was the third quarter. I thought the third quarter was when we answered and came out, got the kickoff and went in, and then we got a quick turnover, and that really gave us some distance, and we were able to play some kids at the end in the fourth quarter. So we were able to play our second unit, which they need to play too when they have an opportunity to do that.
Some exercise for some of your quarterbacks tonight. Just talk about how important games like this are to be able to get some of those guys in that you may not get in.
I think it's important that they get some snaps. You know, we have 4 kids that we played tonight. We try to rotate some of them in, and because that's your future. It's not just about the scoreboard. The future. Building your program, that's where the foundation comes from. And I expect the 4th team quarterback to execute just like the 1st team quarterback, and because he has control of that offense, and I don't expect any slacking off from that, and they know that in practice. They go to the same meetings, they go to the same practice sessions, they do the same drills as the 1st team. So I expect them to execute.
Well, your guys were here on the road tonight, but is there a chance y'all might get to play in the new stadium here pretty soon?
I certainly hope so. Yeah, we are. We've played one game there, and we go back home now. We have 3 in a row at home, and we've been on the road quite a bit. And so hopefully we can have an opportunity to play better at home. And it's gonna be nice to. The only bad thing, we have to paint for 3 consecutive weeks, and I'm gonna run out of paint. But so we don't have turf field, but we love our old natural grass, and we're looking forward to playing before our home field. Our home crowd.
Well, Coach, congratulations on tonight's win.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Kate. Thank you. Very enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Kate. So solid victory for St. Charles Catholic tonight. They take it 35-6 over Franklinton. Clearly the better team over the course of the night. When you play defense like that, Eric, you're going to have a chance against virtually everyone.
You got it, Ken. They came in averaging 12.2 points a game on defense, yielding 12.2 points a game, and they held Franklinton to 6, and it was against their 2nd and 3rd team guys. Couldn't move the football, couldn't score, obviously, against their starters, and that's what the Comets are known for, playing great defense, playing great special teams, and taking advantages of opportunities on offense, out-formationing defenses, and finding ways to get your guys the football and to gain yards and move the sticks and then capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. And that's what the last few years Frank Monica football teams have been all about in Laplace.
Well, that was the case tonight. They just did everything the way they needed to do it to win. Offense had a big third quarter after the defense was big in the first half and really big throughout. And now St. Charles Catholic faces a huge showdown with Newman next week at Lupin Field in what should be an outstanding football game in a District 11 2A showdown. And we sure look forward to that. Franklinton drops to 4-3, and they've got a tough test next week, too. They go to undefeated Lakeshore in District 8 4A play next week. So very tough test for both teams against undefeated teams next week.
Yeah, Franklinton will get Lakeshore, who has Westgate tomorrow. And Westgate, of course, upset St. Thomas More, last Friday night. Lakeshore went to the Dome 2 years ago, made a run again last year, and in 2019, looks like they have an opportunity to make a run at the Superdome in Class 4A.
Well, this class gets more interesting because tonight, final score, Lafayette Christian beat Notre Dame 17-14 as Louis Davies hit a 25-yard field goal with 1 second left to win the game, snapping the Pios' 50-game regular season win streak. What a win for Lafayette Christian over Notre Dame tonight.
Statement win.
Statement win, and next week, of course, St. Charles Catholic and Newman. And it's been great. Of course, we also want to tell you that next Thursday night, the Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night game of the week heads to Acadiana's first-year program. Southside plays host to Lafayette. Join Eric, Kate, and me next Thursday at 7 on the LHSAA live app or on CrescentCitySports.com. And CrescentCitySports.com has even more high school football for you tomorrow night. One unbeaten Huntville plays host to Central Lafourche. Catch the District 7 5A matchup between the Tigers and Trojans tomorrow at 7, live on CrescentCitySports.com. Eric, as always, a pleasure. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Ken. Always a pleasure to work with you, and we're finally into what feels like football season. You arrive at the stadium at 5:30, and the lights are on and the sun is down. It feels like playoff football time.
It does indeed, and we appreciate the efforts of all of our people, including Chip and Matt and Todd, who did a great job for us tonight. Thanks to Kate as well. And again, it's been fun having you tonight. Thanks for joining us. The Allstate Sugar Bowl LHSAA Thursday night football game of the week heads to Acadiana next week. As Southside plays host to Lafayette High in a District 3 5A matchup. Once again, your final score tonight was St. Charles Catholic 35 and Franklinton 6. For Eric Held, Kate Adams, and our entire crew at CrescentCitySports.com, I'm Ken Trahan saying thanks for joining us and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.